Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis.
If it's got a swastika, put a bullet in it.
10-4.
Just gonna be playing this old video I got from Update 7. It was back when Hurtgen Forest was awesome. Version 1 of Hurtgen Forest. Loved this map. I thought it was excellent at the time.
I seen an SS on a Camaro.
Never been a fan of the new Hurtgen Forest. It's always been a little glitchy for me, but
Did you shoot it?
I just liked the old version. The version I fell in love with. Hope you guys are doing well today. Oh, wrong computer. Shit.
Should probably get a Gary before you go across the line.
Yeah. I had been jogging all the way to Berlin, but probably right.
Imagine if you had to spawn in HQ every time you died. Holy shit.
I hope you guys are having a good day.
Dude, gotta be any time now. Yeah. And the trucks are coming too, finally. At least the lodging one.
They make some more on Aretha for
It's like
Well-
on those flies, by the way.
That's the talk, is they're making changes so that like some of the nodes can rearm guys, and the ammo nodes might start being able to rearm ammo tanks and stuff too.
It would be awesome. I'm really looking forward to May.
Nice, dude. That's good to hear. Captain Winters, I've seen your name for so long, dude. How you been? What are your thoughts on this new update? Oh, just if you're wondering, this is an old video from Update 7. Stashed in the inventory. This is old Hurtgen Forest. It's back when the game was pretty special. What update did you start playing the game in? Let me know if you can hear me okay. I know the stream's on a little bit of a delay. Oh, dude, the trailer, I think it just really puts it in perspective as to what's going on. And it's amazing to me that the people putting out the video can't see it at the same time. And maybe there's some bias there because a lot of us have played the game for so damn long that we know the ins and outs and we really want this game to succeed. And we all know our feelings inside, like about the bugs and stuff that if fixed would really accelerate this game. It is, and all of us knew that this update 15 trailer coming out before the hot fix for update 14 was going to be a disaster. If it wasn't update 13.5 wasn't so bad with their analytics or whatever that's causing all the problems now, and then to stack more code on top for update 14, and then to come out with a fucking trailer that goddamn bad, it's just absurd. Update 10. Okay. 11 to 12, just recently got a PS5. Okay, so you're playing the game. Okay, so you got the PS5 and then you've been playing it. Yeah, because I think PS5 release did come out for update 10, which was Kursk, Stalingrad, Stalinleg. Yeah, it's yeah, I think we were all excited for the Airborne, right? I think we all would have been more excited if update 14 would have been a hit. That's kind of the funny thing too. It's plays the same, just adding jumping out of planes and parachuting, which would be sick. I just know it's gonna be buggy and it's gonna come out very soon. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's kind of the funny thing, right? Is Black Matter throughout my course of playing this game, starting in update 7, early update 7, it's kind of been the same roller coaster where the community spoke their mind for a very long time about what we want, what we need, and Black Matter just ignored it. The difference is the attention to detail Black Matter has is far superior to Team 17. Yeah, I've been playing since way before Kursk. Update 7, I believe, was the Carrington update, if I remember right. Yeah, and Carrington is, for me, I've never actually had issues with Carrington. It's always ran pretty smooth. It never ran at a really high frame rate or anything. Kind of, much lower than Foy. But I mean, as far as the maps go, I think Carrington will always be special to people because it's more of an infantry-based map. Tanks can obviously drive through the map, but they're at a severe disadvantage. Community servers for console, boy, that's something even the PC players have wanted for you guys for a long time. The funny thing about not having that is even when I did my 3-day tests with console, I left a server because it was just dead and then joined back into a server and it brought me back into the same fucking server. So if you were having a bad time on the server, let's say you got a bunch of people team killing, just being dicks, you could possibly get thrown right back into the same shit you were trying to leave. And the personal server thing, I think it's not just like, oh, the devs didn't give us the ability. It definitely has to do with paying Sony money. It's Sony that's the problem. I don't think Microsoft is as much of a problem as Sony is. But even just to do updates, dev companies have to pay Sony just to be able to do the update in the first place. So there's some janky stuff happening there too. Yeah. Update 10 was, you have to remember in between update 10 and 11, I believe, there was about a year between updates. I think it was 10 to 11 was the year gap. But yeah, we went a full year with no update, and that was a little brutal. But you know, just like anything, over time, we end up getting used to the issues. We find workarounds. You know, back then there was some ways to mitigate it on PC when they gave you access to the engine file, the engine.ini file. On PC, you used to be able to modify that to. I mean, they claim people were modifying it to remove the grass. I've never actually seen a video of someone doing that. So to me, in my opinion, that shit's a myth. And to this day, no one has ever been able to provide me with any link on what they were doing to remove the grass. But when we had access to the engine.ini file, that's where we were able to adjust the temporal aliasing, which not only made the game look better, but it performed so much better and got rid of all the aim down sight stutters. And there was a lot going on that was excellent. And in fact, it was so good that Black Matter took the very standard way of adjusting the aliasing and turned it into the community TAA, which is an option in the video settings for PC, which the community anti-aliasing setting it doesn't look as nice as standard, but it definitely plays a lot better. After the Carrington update, yeah, I mean, Carrington's always been a good map. It's it's really, really intense. Like that town center is just, in my opinion, one of the best objectives in the whole game. I love fighting over town center. I wish they would open up that building though, on the corner, the one that has the little alleyway. Like that building used to be open, and I just thought, another thing that was changed that nobody talked about. They just changed it, and it's here you go. Yeah, I mean, for me, this game was a transfer from Battlefield 5. I didn't know what to play after Battlefield 5, changed the time to kill, and they added aim assist, trying to get new players to play on a Christmas update. And that kind of just ruined the game for a lot of people. And I spent 3 months just deciding on what game to play. Squad was an option, Postscriptum was an option, Hell Let Loose was an option, and ultimately we picked Hell Let Loose just because it was, looked like it had a long-term playability. And but yeah, I mean, I knew this game was going to be crazy just from the moment I loaded it up and was on the home screen. And it was dark, dirty, seemed dingy. The gunplay was dingy, as you see on the video right now. This is way back when, but this is back when the carbine was a one-hit kill. They've since then just nerfed that gun to shit. It's pretty much useless nowadays. Some people like it, but it's just now getting traction because people are buying the skins. Also, I hope these new devs don't ruin the skins in this game. If you're going to sell skins, it better be historically accurate. Well, that's the thing I'm kind of getting sick of fucking hearing about. I'm getting real sick of hearing them talk about historical accuracy. It's like, there's already enough people trying to fucking erase history, let alone a war that so many millions of fucking people know the tiniest of details. Me, I don't know a lot of details about the war. I've seen all the movies and all that. I've never been a great big history buff. Early on in my life, I got really into like space and stuff like that. So like I've learned a lot about that instead of spending time learning about wars. But what I love about this game is there's so many history buffs that play it. And I find it so fucking amusing that there's enough of you guys out there that point out these little intricacies. Like, I love details. Everything I've done in my life that's been a tough task to learn, what's always interested me is the little details. So I admire that you guys are able to pull that stuff out, like the outfits that weren't worn then. There weren't even those kind of guns on the battlefield at that point in time, those kinds of things. I find great. And I love that the Hell Let Loose Discord has been lit up by people voicing their opinions, because it used to feel like there was 50 people who would voice their opinions in the Discord and try to get a hold of Black Matter and tell them, like, dude, you guys need to really fix some of these things if you really want this to blow up. And I have a feeling if Black Matter would have spent the time to fix, and back in this update, there really wasn't a ton of bugs. Performance was just the main issue. But if they would have fixed it, this game would have taken off. And right now, I firmly believe that Black Matter would still be in charge of this game. But it's kind of like MySpace. If any of you guys are old enough to remember MySpace, okay, you might remember this. MySpace was sold to, I believe, Justin Timberlake, and it was like sold for not a lot of money, like in, those days terms, right? And Justin Timberlake, I believe, had it for a year. Somebody quote me if you know more about this, but I'm just going off of memory. Justin Timberlake had Facebook for about a year and then sold it to, I believe, AT&T, who bought MySpace for like $350 million. And then it tanked like instantly. And to be honest with you, I think that's what we're looking at here with Hell Let Loose. Like, sure, for the new players out there that are enjoying the game, I'm super happy you're enjoying it. I have gotten my $30 out of this fucking game, and I have had some absolutely incredible times with lots of people in the game, everybody in the Discord. This game has been special. I mean, wholeheartedly very special to a lot of people, because it fits in a specific area where no other games fit. And we might, for us that have been playing it a long time and have fallen in love with it, in our view, I think we're watching the decline of the game. And are we willing, if they're going to do 6 years worth of updates, are we willing to wait 2 years for them to get it back to the same state that it was in update 13? I'll be honest, I'm not going to fucking wait that long. 2 years worth of games are going to come out in that period of time, and there's going to be something that's going to fill that gap. Burning Lands is looking pretty promising. Might be a little bit a different game mechanic than what we're used to, but I think people are looking forward to it because of the downfall of what's happened recently. Metallica freak, dude. I used to love Metallica, man. Loved them so much, dude. I remember going back in the day to a Sam Goody, and like I was poor at the time as a kid, and I desperately wanted their Kill 'Em All DVD, just the backstory on the album Kill 'Em All, and so I stole it. I stole it from Sam Goody and brought it home and had a very good understanding of how bad the record companies were fucking Metallica. And then Napster came along and wiped them out anyways, right? But just the whole album with the name being changed to Kill Them All, which was kill all the record producers. I just always liked Metallica for that fucking reason, because it seemed like they were really sticking up for themselves, which I can appreciate anybody doing. You've been a part of Alpine's group for over 2 years, and I'm concerned that they are chasing dollar signs over accuracy and history. Well, absolutely. I mean, that's capitalism at the finest, right? We want them to chase that money. We need them to chase that money so that the game can grow and expand. But honestly, if they think they're going to make money off of fucking skins, they are... Where is the money even coming off of updates? Max Rayo once said in an interview that, the game has sold over 1 million copies. Okay. The game is $30. It sold over 1 million copies at the time. That's $30 million. Okay. So you've made $30 million. Super Mario Brother 3, right, for NES, that game cost $35 million to make. So we have Hell Let Loose, made $30 million. Who knows what it cost to make? Mario 3 took $35 million to make. We've come a long way, and in the sense of we want them to make money, we definitely want them to make money so that development can continue, because we don't want this to go the post-scriptum route, right? We definitely don't want that. And yeah, I think all the communities for this game are really having a tough time. Here's the I can just tell you from my experience in my Discord. This is a game that we have literally gathered to play every Friday and Saturday for over 2 years. It has been religious. It's been that often. Sure, some people got things that they can't show up, but whatever. The Discord is always hopping on a Friday and Saturday, and it's been steady. And it hasn't been that. Update 13.5, we put up with it because we know the history of Black Matter, and like, okay, well, this sucks, but it'll get fixed down the road. And yeah, so we're used to that, so we go off of that. But when update 14 came out and things just got worse and just piled on top, and now there's so much code from back then that needs to be looked at that is so fucking buried in the mess of spaghetti, that I personally think that Black Matter didn't know a fix for it. And honestly, we would have all been okay if they'd have just came out and said, hey, look, we honestly don't fucking know like how to fix this. Sure, they could hire someone, a JP from Grandma's Boy kind of guy that could come in and maybe fix it instantly. But the difference is at least Black Matter with the bugs had attention to fucking detail. Max Rhea and those guys, I definitely think they're history buffs. At least at a minimum, were willing to look in depth into history, and the team pick out little nuances that didn't fit right, from, the sites to whatever it may be. Right. And we all loved that shit. We all loved it. And now you have a team that came in that's just shitting on everybody. And I'm just fucking sick of hearing the historical accuracy. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. And everybody knows it's not. That's the issue, right? Like Team 17 doesn't know this player base like Black Matter does. And even though this community has always been small, Black Matter knew that they would get lit up in emails or whatever it may be if there was something inaccurate as far as the history goes. And back then, like what we're watching now, update 7, people could overlook the bugs because of the historical accuracy. If the accuracy is perfect, then we can overlook a lot of the other shit. And believe me, we've played the shit out of this game without having, you just put it in your subconscious, the bugs, you work around it, the jumping sucks, right? So, you're holding the jump button down to hurdle from now on. And, you're just learning ways to adapt around the game. And now, I mean, I'm going to be honest, Team 17 has shit in everybody's Cheerios. And what are they going to do? Well, I don't think they're going to swallow their pride. I've thought about starting a petition and for them to revert back to update 13 and pull their heads out of their asses and fix the fucking game and learn who your community is. If I was going to spend $46 million or whatever the transaction was, don't you think I'd kind of want to know where that money, where $46 million is worth in a game? Because if the plan is to wipe out the existing community, the dedicated community, for a new community, this isn't the way to do it. They could have spent $47 million and built a brand new game. The British update also was really disappointing me with the lack of weapon accuracy. It, for me, it's beyond the weapon accuracy, and I don't know if you're referencing just the historical look of the guns or the way they actually play, because either whichever one you take, it just the gunplay alone, they're fucking dog shit. The size of the guns on screen is so much bigger than any of the other guns. The sights are just horrendous and misaligned and just terrible. Like it's beyond terrible. Oh, I'm sorry if the game was muted. Sorry. I accidentally was typing on the wrong keyboard. Let me do something here because I don't want you to have to hear it through my speakers. I'll just put it through the headphones. And now I can hear it in my headphones. Let me just mute my headphones. Sweet. Yeah. So let me know in the chat if you can hear the game and my voice and the audio leveling is still good there. What you're watching right now, just so you know, is from Update 7. This is when I fell in love with the game. This match was kind of a big achievement for me because I had went 28-2. And back then that was just fucking unheard of. So for me, this was kind of a big moment game, which is why I saved it. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, all of it's awful. You're exactly right. That's why I've wanted to start a petition.org to revert the game back to update 13, because people are talking about the run speed now because it's changed and there's so much pushback from upping the run speed. What in the fuck is going on? I muted that shit. Hold on here. Okay, anyways. So yeah, sorry, my grandparents are also calling me at the same time. Today is my birthday, so I've been getting a lot of calls, but I got to talk about Hell Let Loose because it's just a fucking disaster. But anyways, yeah, so I just remembered what I was saying. I've thought about starting a petition.org to revert back to update 13 because update 13 was the fair balance. Nobody cared about the fucking run speed enough to constantly talk about it like the way they are until they changed it without letting us know, which is what they did in update 8. And I don't understand these game companies. What makes them think that making such a drastic change, especially with no quality control or testing, is going to be good for the community? And my argument is, people are saying that, oh, they want to appeal to the new Bay or the Call of Duty and the Battlefield guys, right? Well, if they wanted to appeal to it, they would have advertised for the change. Give me 1 second. Hey, can I call you back? Yeah, sorry. I don't need to hold you. I just went live online, so I'm like talking to my community. All right, I'll back in a bit. Okay, all right, my grandma called me back again. I had to tell her that I love her and I'll call her back. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I just think update 13 was kind of the snowball wasn't too big, right? Like the snowball of problems was not so large that we can all handle it. And to be honest, if there was no development at all past update 13, honestly, I think we all would have been fine with it. Like, I'm cool with all the maps. I'm cool with just the 2 factions. It's, the 3 factions. But if, in a sense, Team 17 isn't doing anything new that Black Matter did. Black Matter just cared about it. That's all. They actually showed that they cared. And, with Stalingrad, that's a perfect example. Stalingrad runs just like El Alamein. And no attention. Okay, so they did do a hot fix for Stalingrad, which helped. It helped a lot, but it never fixed it, and they never returned to it. I mean, not a minute's worth of time had been spent on fixing that map, and I would argue that's one of the best looking maps in the game. Like I love Stalingrad. I think it's a a fantastic map. Let me just read the chat here. I think if they up the sprint speed, you got to scale vehicle speed. We shouldn't be outrunning tanks at full speed. Absolutely. I mean, how do I word this? Not to like dumb it down at all, but so many people have said the exact same thing, right? Because why wouldn't you? If you're just literally moving a fucking slider inside the game engine to up the speed, why aren't you doing that with other things? Like, I get the game needs to be faster. I agree. I think upping the speed would not have been a big deal. Upping it as fast as they did, surely. I mean, I personally think even if they would have upped everything else, turret speed, tank speed, truck speed, I still think the speed would have been a little too hot. Like I think the numbers have come out now. We know that it was like 23.8% increase in run speed. And so if they would have actually done 15% run speed, I don't think anybody would have had a problem at all. And the other aspect to this is all the people who are like, oh, the speed's fucking fine. It's great. You're just mad because now you can't hit your shots. It's like, no. You're missing the point. Everything is off balance now because of that, which is just, God, man, it's so tough. It's not even about the shooting because we all know the game ain't about kills. It's fun to get kills, but the whole game ain't about kills. Sorry, I'm going to turn. Oh, I see. Sorry if the audio's fucked up. It's still just blaring through my headphones. I don't want it to get picked up on my mic. Yeah, it's the console, guys, is that whole console thing is where all these major issues seem to have started, because when they announced console, the community kind of was like, oh, okay, you're already not spending time fixing the past shit in the game, but now you're going to add on porting the game to console. So this is going to suck away time from working on the PC version. And not only that, we didn't want, as a PC community, for the dumbing down of the graphics on console to be brought in to the PC version. And as you can tell, I mean, look at the fucking barbed wire in the game, dude. That shit doesn't even render in at sometimes 60, 70 meters. It just looks like a blob of color. All of that came from console. We didn't have that shit before. That wasn't a problem before. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I mean, have you guys bought in the skins? Like, I haven't bought the newest skins, but I've bought in all the previous ones. I want to support the game. I want to support the devs. If I can give a little more, then fine. I'll buy some skins. Like, just keep making the game what it is. But how do you come in and just alienate a fucking community? And who are you appealing to? Are you just going to tell people it's historically accurate, but then people get in and the fucking magazine is sticking out of the top of the Garand? Like, are you guys retarded? Like, who over there is making these fucking decisions? Who is signing off on this shit and says it looks good? I mean, even Stevie Wonder could tell you that fucking video was trash. Hurts the state of the game right now as so many new players take leadership roles and are not given tools to help them, especially SLs without mics. Yeah, I mean, I would go as far as saying if you don't use a mic in this game, I wouldn't care if that was an option to kick someone. If you put that in the options and you put it to, we don't want people to abuse it, right? So maybe we got to keep it at the 29 out of 50. But I think there should be an option to kick someone for not using a mic, especially in a leadership role. But also, the people who aren't using a mic, you got to think of it on a psychological level too, right? We know that they're missing a massive aspect of the game that we love so much. So how do you convince them to want to use a mic and communicate and be a part of the team and allow their eyes in game to relay information to the team that helps? Like, that's a big issue too. But we could have had a training mode in the game. They could have done that a long time ago. They could have said, fuck console, not, hating on you console guys, but they could have put console off for another year and worked on a training mode that would have given people a source. But I've always been an advocate of, preaching about how the community has done all the work for them. The community has done all the work on teaching people the game. And if I was a company and I had a community that was willing to teach people the game for free, why would I ever put $1 into helping this community learn the game? I wouldn't. I'd save all that money and development time and costs and just let the fucking community do it. They're enjoying it. They enjoy putting out the content, and it gets them views, which helps them out. And I've written some guides before. I've done some stuff like that. I after update 10, I just kind of refused to. I learned that people were watching my videos and seeing how I play and learning from that, and versus watching a guide on, how do I shoot the Garand at 250 meters for the headshot? It's like, just fucking play the game. Like, the more time you play the game, the more you'll just learn the way the guns are. That's like anything, right? So after update 10, I was like done trying to teach people the game. It's like, no, I've taught for the past 2 years. Like, I think now it's the newer player base that should be, or the sophomores of the game should now be teaching the freshmen, Oh, dude, you own a Garand? That's so cool. I don't own any guns. I've never owned a gun. Not against guns. Love guns. Definitely pro 2A. But I've shot a lot of guns. Got friends that got a lot of guns. Family that got a lot of guns. I just never owned a gun, man. I don't know. I think if I was to own a gun, I think it'd be cool to own a Thompson. I don't know what the legality is in owning one. You might be able to fill me in there on that. I'm sure it's probably pretty expensive, not just for the gun, but maybe the licensing of it. But yeah, I got no issues with guns. In fact, I think they're pretty fun. I'd love to shoot a Garand, dude. I've always been a sound oriented person, so I'd love to hear that ping in real life. I don't know. I think if I could hear the ping of the Garand in real life, it would just be able to put me in that situation where they were really using that gun, That's why I'm watching this video here, kind of reliving the glory days of Hell Let Loose, because it might be over, man. And I watched Pterodactyl's video today, and usually he's got just a pretty level-headed approach to it, and except for when the DLC comment or when the DLC started becoming a thing. I remember Pterodactyl making a comment that was like, here's some skins, fuck you, give me money. And I thought that line was great, right? Because that's just directly to the fucking point. And I've always been a directly to the point, don't sugarcoat shit. And I kind of feel the same way about the DLC, but with Pterodactyl's take today, I think it's really well thought out. And personally, I think it would be really nice to hear all of the war correspondents not get together in like a podcast and talk about it. But I don't actually know what the connection between the dev team and them is, or if they're just getting like press releases early or whatever it may be. But if there was ever a time for all of them to talk to their community about this game and stand up as a whole, now is the fucking time. And if it doesn't happen, then this game is done. Like, I'm not going to wait 2 years for them to fix this shit. I've already waited 2 fucking years and put up with that. And now it's just garbage to play. Some servers don't even have the British maps available to play, which is good. That's a sign of solidarity. But yeah, I think the war correspondents need to speak up and I know there's been messages in the Discord, and it just falls on fucking deaf ears, right? That's well, technically it falls on the Wombat Medic's ears, which I feel bad for her, to be honest with you. Like it's like, here, you field all the bullshit and deal with it. And what a terrible system. Just read some comments here. A person with 150 pounds of kit attached in decent shape takes 28 seconds average to run 100 meters, provided that they don't need to catch their breath or go from cover to cover. Yeah. And is that how much they were carrying back then? Like, is that how much weight these guys were carrying? No way. Like, I can see like 60 pounds, right? Like, or maybe that's current day is what they carry is about 60 pounds. Someone let me know. I mean, you guys are the history buffs. I appreciate all the knowledge you guys can share. But 28 seconds. Okay, so let's just go full sprint. What are they doing in like the NFL, right? A 4.40. So the game is 200 meters per square. You're running 4.4. That's 80 times 2. It's 160. So it's 5, right? So we're gonna go 4.4 times 5. That's 16. So yeah, twice as long. Twice as long. To run that 100 meters with all that weight, or 200 meters with all that weight. It's unreal. And, you know, again, we're playing a video game, right? Like, we're not, you know, excuse me, we don't need this to be, you know, we don't need every little aspect to be like what real life was, right? You know, you can go to Omaha Beach and like get a good idea of what it could have been like. So we don't need every aspect to be exact, but the run speed, one of the main functions of the game, we should probably have that close to right, or at least balanced with the speed of the vehicles. Let's get to another comment. Would love it if they add complete sets of German camos, not just for the helmets. Yeah, I mean, you really would think a dev team could just pump out a bunch of DLC. Like, how hard is that? I mean, Tiger Woods for PlayStation 2, granted it's EA, but Tiger Woods for PlayStation 2 was a game that you could customize everything down to your tennis shoes. So why can't we do that in game? Like, I really don't understand. And some of the outfits weren't even used for those maps. So even if you had more options, there'd still be people upset that you have camos that aren't, you know, factually accurate for the time period. Which again, it's just a game. I mean, you got half the guys running around in their whites on regular maps anyway. So what's the difference, you know? But I think more DLC, the better. The more, and keep it paid. I don't want no like I don't want to have to earn it in game. I don't want to have this pay to win kind of thing. Definitely just keep it a paid DLC, and whoever wants to buy it will buy it. But there's no fucking way with a player base this size that they're gonna make money, serious money off of DLC. It's never gonna happen. Like, I don't, even if you bought all the DLC right now, I think you can get it for $50. Let me just grab my phone here. I just want to do this real quick. We'll go off the max player base.
I'm sorry.
Oh, let's see here. We're gonna go $50, and the maximum amount of players that have all-time peak was 18,000 something. So if we did if everybody went out and spent $50 on the entire pack of DLC, it would still only bring in $900,000, which might seem like a lot, but as far as paying a dev team and keeping the lights on, that ain't shit. That's not shit. I believe back then it was around 80 pounds. Yeah. And okay, so I don't remember the exact math, but I think currently the guys are running at about 9 miles an hour, which to be able to do nonstop throughout a match, that's kind of weird. I don't want attrition in the game. I definitely don't think attrition, you're going to kill this entire game if you add an attrition system. And I kind of find it laughable that there's some people that are like, oh, just add more shit on top of the shit we're already dealing with to make the run speed fine, but only do it for a limited amount of time and then add more stuff on top of the dolphin dive so people can't spam it. It's like, no, let's just revert back to how it was when nobody had a fucking problem with any of it. Like, why can't we do that? Like, swallow your fucking pride, revert the game back to update 13, install a drawing board in your fucking office, and fix the goddamn game. It's not that fucking hard. Like, you guys are game developers. This is what you do for a living, and this is a piece of art. This is your art, and you guys have shat all over it. You've shat on your own fucking art. And that update 15 video is a fucking disgrace. And even in the Hell Let Loose Discord, the Wombat Medic stated a comment that we will be addressing the update 15 video, or that we're going to put out a dev blog today, but they're going to address the update 15 trailer. It's like, yeah, you were going to put out a dev blog saying like, oh, hope you guys are really enjoying the new trailer, just like you did with the update 14. Oh, we're really happy to hear that you guys are enjoying the new progression system, is what they called it. Really? You think that Discord is people enjoying it? You think these fucking Discord communities where people have been uninstalling your game, you think they're fucking enjoying it? Do you think the friendships that people have met and gathered and gained and prospered in their life, do you think they're fucking enjoying it? Like, holy fuck, the disconnect between Team 17 and the community of this game is on another level. This is weird how they let you use snow, camel, and desert maps. Yeah, these are people who develop games for a living, and this is the fucking best they could come up with, is adding a little tier system on top for loadout 1, loadout 2. And for a minute there, that shit wasn't even working properly for some people. And you just can't auto switch it. Like, how about a clickable button for auto switch camo? Because I don't fucking use that shit. I don't use the snow outfits at all because I don't want to end up being that guy in the white outfit in the regular map. So I don't even do that shit. Nope. I am straight up green camo. I don't care what map it is. But I think there should be an auto switch or whatever to make it, switch to the white outfits. How fucking hard is that, people? Like, it's not. Black Matter developed a whole goddamn game, and you're telling me that they can't add an auto switch in there? It's fucking pathetic. My old LBV regularly had 28 pounds of ammunition, liter of water, knife, IFAK. I'm not sure what that is. Paint can, pry tool for jams, plates, etc. Yeah. And you know what's funny is it's really interesting. I don't think the run speed is the biggest factor of all of this. I think that's just the one factor that put it over the edge, right? I think that's when the snowball got too fucking big and the game already ran poorly in update 13.5 with their analytics and health update. And now what's this new update 15 shit called? I can't even remember. Something duty. Yeah, you guys aren't doing any fucking justice to this game. Devotion to duty. Oh, devotion to duty. Okay. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Is that your motivational poster inside the fucking office? The devotion to duty? It's bullshit. It's a bunch of dog shit. It's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of marketing propaganda bullshit. And are Team 17 going to listen to it? Doubtful. They think they know better than you, which, don't get me wrong, they're developers, right? They know what's going on, right? But whoever's making the decision to put this fucking trash out, those floating arms and the T-posing and the Garand shooting through the flat cannon in that trailer, it is pathetic. I made a joke about it that you could, in the Hell Let Loose Discord, just letting Team 17 know that, there are people who charge more than $5 on Fiverr. So next time, maybe try the $10 guy. But I can guarantee you that you could take that 2-minute trailer, go to someone on Fiverr that edits video and tell them what's wrong with the video, pay them $10, $20, $30, whatever it is, to make that video fucking awesome. And I guarantee they could. Like, there's so many more talented fucking people on the planet than apparently whoever they fucking hired. And what is their hiring process? Do you have to lean a certain way politically to get the fucking job? Do you actually have to be a developer? Is this an internship? Like, what are we dealing with here? Because I think most of us feel, besides the people who just got the game and are enjoying it wholeheartedly, I think the majority of us feel like this is taking a very big turn for the worst. And we were already skeptical. We were already skeptical of how this was going to be. And then 13.5 came out and we're like, oh, okay, it's a little scary. And now update 14 came out and it's like, wow, you guys really fucked up on this one. And oh, you're not even going to tell us what you're going to fix for the hot fix yet, which is coming out on the 22nd. Just so happens to be the same day that 6 Days in Fallujah is coming out. That's fucking convenient for you, isn't it? Because I bet you there's a lot of people in Hell Let Loose that are going to play 6 Days in Fallujah. And yeah, it's only 4-player co-op, but people are looking for that thing that hits that receptor in the brain, the dopamine receptor, right? They're looking for that hit. And Hell Let Loose is what was doing it for them for a very long time. And now they got to find that new hit. And, I don't know. I mean, if you were a business and ignore the Wombat medic having to read through all these people's complaints, I legitimately feel bad for her. But if you were a business, and just so you guys know, the suggestions tab inside the Discord is the only one the devs look at. All the rest is just managed by a Discord mod. But would you even look at any of this shit? Or would you just hide yourself back from it and just keep pushing forward saying, we're doing great, guys. People are loving it. More people than ever played it. Ignore the 2 weeks after the update. We got money coming in. People bought the game and things are good for us. It's fucking crap. It's a bunch of bullshit. Oh, definitely playing 6 Days in Fallujah. Yeah, I can't wait. That's kind of why I decided to do a live stream in making a video. Because Hell Let Loose doesn't deserve anybody making content anymore. Even if it's bad publicity is good publicity. And it spreads the word around. And what I also think is really funny, one of our Discord members, Nitrox, brought up yesterday, he had a theory that Squad is, I just, played Squad a couple times so far, but Squad is currently lowering the run speed in the game, which counteracts what Hell Let Loose has done. And I think that's funny because I wonder if Squad is actually trying to maybe steal some of the Hell Let Loose community, which it's not the same game. It's not even close, but it's interesting because I did read that Squad used to have a slow run speed and then they upped it and the community was kind of pissed off about it. And it's been that way for 2 years now. And now they're lowering it back down to make Squad play more of a thing, keeping people closer together in the map, which, you know, look at everybody now. Now, I mean, even over the time, people are just running around shooting things, doing their own goddamn thing. Nobody's listening. No one's paying attention. No one's talking on the mics. No one's following command. The game is falling apart. And if the people who have a ton of subscribers aren't, you know, all these people are friends, right? All these people that play together that have all the subscribers, right? They're all friends, right? Okay, I've heard them call each other friends. Then why aren't you guys standing up in solidarity? Get to the point. Like, there should be everybody who's making content on this game standing up for the fucking game, because we've gone 2 years trying to talk about the issues and it's fallen on fucking deaf ears. And right now they have no choice but to listen. You know, we all know the trailer was shit. Of course it was. If anybody physically saw that with real eyeballs, they would have seen that trailer was embarrassing. And if I was one of their war correspondents, personally, I would be offended to if it was like the agreement, like, oh, I, you know, put the trailer out on my channel to help spread the word. I would be embarrassed to put that trailer on my channel. It's that bad. And who does it speak to? It definitely doesn't speak to the current Hell Let Loose community. Almost 3 years, and the amount of changes that are going away from the core game is sad. It is fucking sad. It hurts my heart big time. You know, some of you may know, some of you might not, but you know, I have a firm belief that if you're doing something in life, if you're spending a lot of time doing something in life and you're wondering what to make content about, it's that. You should make content about the thing that you're doing a lot in your life. And for me, playing this game during COVID, this is what I was doing. I was playing this game for like 12 hours a day, and every day. It just, why not, right? And so I started making content and just having a good time. And I've always wondered to myself, did I enjoy the game more when I didn't know a lot about it, or did I enjoy the game once I put 3,000 hours into it? Like, which one did I enjoy more? Did I enjoy being great at the game? Was that more enjoyable, or was it more enjoyable not noticing all the bugs and all the bullshit and being new? I constantly ask myself that question. And it's drifted away. I mean, I know, believe me, I have read almost every bit of context that I can read about this game, even from the Kickstarter days, and how the vision changed. And to me, it's fine that the vision changed, because they need money. If you put a lot of money into something and it wasn't pulling in enough to break even, you'd either have to sell, which is what's happening now, and drastic changes are underway to make that more money. You know, I don't know. It's interesting how Hell Let Loose fits in this little niche between like Arma Squad, Postscriptum, Hell Let Loose, Battlefield, Call of Duty. Enlisted is probably in there somewhere, right? Rising Storm, all those games. Like this fits in like this little tiny area, and it's just like, okay, we all listen to music, right? It's kind of like those artists that they've been around a while, but then they put out an album that's so musically different from anything they had done prior, and they kind of lose some of their fan base over it. Since we got a Metallica freak in the chat, I'll tell you, Load. The album Load from Metallica ruined it for me. And it's like James Hetfield stopped drinking, and to me, their music became fucking soft. Where, you know, Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All, Black Album. I mean, you're talking about some dark stuff there in those albums, and it's exactly like that. Sometimes an album can be out for 15 years before someone goes back and listens to it and is like, you know what? That was way before its time. It was actually really good. And, just giving you an example here. And to be honest, Hell Let Loose kind of fit in that little genre of, it was kind of, I don't want to say ahead of its time because it's not the right terminology, but when this game is 6 years down the road, people are going to look back at like just how niche this little game was and how much passion and love was put into it, and all the data, all the posts, all the guides are still going to be on YouTube, online, on Steam, and the conversations in the Steam discussion section, the screenshots, the thumbnails, the laughs, the frustration, like all of that will still be able to be researched. And I think right now is one of those big times where the community could come together as one, not dispersed with this person has this problem, this person has this problem, this person has this problem, all posting separate, but they're all posting the same goddamn problem. Like I just think now is the time, and nobody knows how to do it, right? Because we're trying to post through a fucking Discord that nobody's paying attention to. How do you actually get their fucking attention? Well, you do it by telling people to not buy the game. And if your community trusts you, then you will tell them that I will let you know when a good time is to buy the game, but now is not the time. And I don't know. That's why I've wanted to start a petition to revert the game back to update 13, fix the bullshit, and come forward with it when you've thought it out. Nobody cared if you left the game at update 13. Nobody fucking cares if you left it for 6 months to a year. I'm sure of it. Nobody would care. Sure, the gameplay would get a little dull, but that's only for the new people. That's only for the new people who need shiny things in order to continue to play the fucking game. None of us core community need any more shiny things. We need other things fixed, like the grenade bug, loadout bug. We need those things fixed. The stutters, the performance. There's no reason that I shouldn't be maintaining 100 FPS in this game with an RTX 4080. There's not. This is top of the line fucking technology in a game where I get dips down into the 50s. It is absolute bullshit. And it's only because nobody spent the time to look at it. Black Matter even said a long time ago when they changed their dev briefings and their update schedule, they were putting out updates on a regular basis to fix the game. And then they said, we can't make any money from that. So we're going to have to change it and bundle these fixes up into updates with a single hot fix afterwards. And that's what Team 17's doing. Doing the same thing. Pushing out all this crappy content, just so they can build up a rapport and hopefully people spend money. And then what? They get into the game and play for 2 hours and the game's crashing. They don't know about the DX12 modifier. They don't know how to make the game run right. They just paid $45, $50 for this game and it's glitching all over the place and the guns aren't accurate and not shooting right. It's really fucked up because you can go play Battlefield, which is like $15 right now. And when you lost a gunfight, you just lost one to someone skilled. Like it doesn't, it's not like this where the game works against you the entire time and hit detection is dog shit. I know I've been rambling. I'll get to some comments here. I don't understand why sometimes our tanks can pen weaker armor, but I've seen. Oh, let me start with the one prior to that. I've found quality of games has gone down recently as well. Seeing a lot of high level players not teaching the noobs. It's not for us to teach. Any bit of data that you want to learn about the game has already been out there, and the veteran community has exhausted itself trying to teach people the game. It's the core elements of the game haven't changed, right? Like the actual core functionality of the game hasn't changed. So all of that data is out there. You can only put out so many guides on how to shoot the Garand before it just becomes null. And what you're asking, and I don't know what you consider veteran. Maybe we should establish that first. For me, veteran is 250. If you are a rank 250, the reason I would consider that veteran is because you've made it through enough updates to have grown with the game. Anything under that, and and it's just not it. If you spend any time in Bob the Builder building it up, then you ain't no veteran. I'm sorry. I know there's people out there that are getting 900,000 points just by spending a full match in Bob the Builder server, and that's not really playing the game. So, but it isn't up for the people that have 2,000 hours into the game to teach you the game. It's the devs' problem. It's up to the devs to teach you the game. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of veterans that if you're willing to listen and ask questions in game, more than happy to tell you. More than happy. Who wouldn't be? I'm willing. I'm willing to teach anybody the game in game, and we'll work on whatever you want to work on. Like if you want to get better at engineer, like, dude, I'll play with you and we can go play engineer, and I'll even be support and drop you supplies as often as I can and teach you the nuances. Like that's not a problem. The issue is people that are willing to listen. And there's a lot of people in Hell Let Loose that aren't willing to listen. There's people that are level 35 that I'm not even kidding you. You may have seen it in some of my videos in the past where they're like, yeah, we have to go this and this and this. And they haven't seen my rank in game. And I'm like, okay, I know how to play the game. Thanks for that. But I know how to play the game. And then they'll look at my rank and be like, oh shit, dude, sorry. And it's those people that are willing to teach people the new game. Those are people that are willing to teach the game. They're learning it. It's interesting to them. They learn little nuances. They want to share it. They want to talk about it. I already went through that phase. Many of us have. And if all of our effort in the last 2 years to help people learn the game has now led it to the quality of games being worse, which we all agree with, then it's helpless. It's helpless. It's a waste of fucking time. But like I said, I'm willing to teach whoever in the game. Everybody in my Discord is a monster at this game. Not like they're, not like everybody's just like an incredible shot or anything like that. Everybody in my Discord that I play with regularly knows the roles that they're good at and that they like to play. So if you are trying to learn something specific, maybe it's logistics, something like that, we have people in this Discord that are great at that and understand it and are willing to teach people. Just hop in my Discord and play with us on a Friday. Granted, not a lot of us are playing the game right now. We did play it this past Saturday. And, when we're as a group, we can enjoy it. We can all bitch about the problems about the game at the same time. And we're all experiencing the same degradation of gameplay. So, it's mutual at that point. But it's the devs. The devs should have put in a tutorial. They did a dog shit tutorial. Even this new tutorial system thing that they added, whatever, is weak. They need an in-game training like Squad has, so people can actually build garrisons and stuff like that. But I'll quit rambling. I'll get on to the next one here. Tank's still stuck on stuff they should destroy, aka small trenches, rocks, barbed wire. Yeah, let me see how much is left. Okay, we only got a couple minutes left of this match on screen, and then I'll I saved a clip from from Foy. I played Foy this past Saturday or whatever it was, and I was laying on the street and an open road on Foy, flat ass road, enemy coming up to me like 20 meters away. I go to mount my MG and shoot, and I'm literally hitting an invisible wall directly in front of the gun. I move over to the left a little bit and pull the trigger, remount, and the enemy's coming up, and it fucking shoots an invisible wall in front of me, and then the guy ends up fucking killing me. It's like every goddamn step of the way, there's something that's working against you from being successful in the fucking game. And if these goddamn fucking devs that are being paid, these guys aren't cheap, dude. These people are making $100K a year. If you fucking people who went to school for this shit, and this is what you call, if I was a plumber, if I was Joe Blow plumber, and I came to your fucking house to fix your plumbing, and the minute I leave it fucking leaks, guess what? You're calling me back to fix that shit, and I better fix it fucking now. And I better fix it right the first fucking time. But if I was the kind of person that came over to fix your plumbing and was like, well, I did what I could, I'm going to have to charge you another fee to drive back out to your house to fix the problem that I couldn't fix in the first fucking place, then you're a piece of shit plumber. And at this level, I'm not afraid to say it. These are some of the fucking worst developers ever. Let's see their history. Let's see what games they've worked on. Let's see their actual resume of where they've been, what they've learned. Because are these kids straight out of development school? Then fine, I can adapt to that. I can adapt to new devs not knowing their shit, and we're going to deal with this for a long time. Fine, I'll move on. You already have my $30 when I bought the game. I'll move on to something else, which will happen anyways if it keeps going the way it's going. But to call yourself a developer and you release this fucking trash and then the update trailer, like, fuck you guys. You guys are money grubbing fucking assholes. And maybe the sexual assault fucking charges that you guys dealt with over at Team 17, maybe that's fucking taking priority over actual game development. You know, nobody talks about that shit, but that's some real shit. Tanks still get stuck on stuff. You can't even stand the random shit you get stuck on in this game. I agree. Don't understand why some of our tanks can pen weaker armor. Yeah. It's slowly gotten worse when they changed like the tank hit detection and shit. Like the way it's mapped out, it's always kind of been a problem. But it seems more, to me, it seems like more of a, I'm not going to blame the servers. It's the net code. It seems like the hitboxes of players laying down. It seems like the hitbox, when players laying down, it seems like the hitbox on them is in the ground. Like it's not even hittable. And with tanks, it seems like the hit detection is, it almost seems like the hitbox is on the other side of where you're actually trying to hit. So it never pens properly. I don't know. I'm not putting it into the right words, but hopefully that analogy makes sense. As someone who has 1,600 hours at least into just playing AT, I can tell you I've hit my share fair of tanks that should have been a perfect hit directly and right up the fucking butthole, and it does nothing, just ricochets. It's been that way for a long time. It's worse now, without a doubt. I agree. Don't understand. Okay, I read that one. Load and reload should have been one. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. It definitely should have been. Yeah, I'm glad James Hetfield stopped drinking, right? But we even Stephen King, when he quit smoking cigarettes, he said that his writing suffered, and he said when he stopped drinking coffee, his writing also suffered again. And like, it's gonna happen, man. Like, look at some of the best comedians out there, dude. Some of the best fucking comedians had to come from some dark places. Look at Joey Diaz. If he's not a prime example of someone who came from some dark places and, you know, is now awesome, you know, I mean, been on TV, outstanding comedian, doesn't hold nothing back, because things were worse at one point in his life for him, you know. James Hetfield, we liked your music back when it was dark a little more. It wasn't so fucking soft and corporate, you know. And honestly, I'm glad Napster took all your shit. I'm glad. I don't give a fuck. Like, do you think I've paid for a piece of software in my life? No, I've paid for Photoshop. Other than that, torrent still exists. Why would I pay for anything? Like, no thanks. I'm not saying music should be free. I like the, being able to buy a song for $1, right? It's kind of where cable TV is sloughed off. Cable TV would be so good if they allowed people to pay for the channel they wanted. So if I want just ESPN, HBO, and Comedy Central, then I just pay, even $3 per channel. Maybe it's $9, $12 a month, and those are the channels I get because that's all I watch. But no, instead I got to add this HGTV bullshit into a package with 119 other channels playing commercials that I don't fucking want. And then you guys try to put out a streaming, a piece of streaming like Netflix or Hulu Plus and Disney Plus, and think people are gonna watch that shit? No, it's not gonna happen. It's the only FPS game I play. Not really my jam, but just the power of the environment sucked me in. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I love this game. So many good vibes and situations can come up. I hope it doesn't get too far out. If you asked someone who supported the Kickstarter, it's too far out already. If you ask someone like myself, who's been playing since update 7, I have 3,200 hours in the game. It's over the line to where I don't want to play it. My friends in my Discord don't want to play it. Many other people's Discords don't want to fucking play it. People have already uninstalled it. They've taken it too far, and their historical inaccuracies have just piled on top and made it worse. 700 hours in, I'm level 160, and I had a level 5 squad lead kick me out of the squad because I was trying to teach him about that's either an OP or fucking OP. I prefer fucking OP. You're trying to teach him about a fucking OP. Yeah. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's just the internet community we all live in. That's the hard part about teaching someone is when it comes to putting guides and stuff on YouTube, someone has to search that out. People that are your subscribers will watch your content just in support of you, see if there's maybe one little tidbit they didn't know before. And that's cool. But when it comes to guides, someone actually has to search it out. Well, how do I throw grenades into a window? Oh, well, the game doesn't throw it right where I'm aiming. I got to throw it up a lot higher. Like, people will actively search that out to find out the things they want. But here's one thing. I hope we all go through this, especially if you've played the game a while. But for me, I played support straight through to level 10 when I started playing the game. And what I realized from my early on days of playing support, how many times I dropped supplies in an area where a Gary couldn't even have fucking been built because there's already one too close, or it's just fucking useless. And I think of all the times I wasted dropping supplies, or how, if I would have been aware, how I could have dropped supplies in a better spot to place that game-winning garrison, for some random squad lead to stroll along and build for that win. I think we all have to go through making the mistakes in the game in order to realize where we're screwing up. But you're always going to have those people that don't want to do shit. They just go in as squad lead because they just want to get into the game, and they don't really care. They don't do shit. They don't communicate. They're off in the middle of fucking nowhere. They're running up the same road, dying constantly, rinse and repeat. It's seen some pretty low IQ shit happen in this game over the years, The one time Fox and I tried to run a tank, we got stuck on a white picket garden fence with a tiger. See, and okay, so I personally haven't spent a lot of time in tanks, but I know enough to know that some trees you can drive through and some trees you can't, and you don't know which one's which. Some walls you can drive through and some you can't. Why? Why does that have to be that way? I know we don't have destruction in the game, so let the vehicles drive through all the fucking trees. Like, how about that? How about give a recenter option in case you get the damn thing stuck or a half track stuck? That's a controversial topic, right? But in other games that you've played for the past 20 years of your lives, when you flip over onto the roof, the game automatically flips you over onto the bottom. So why can't we have some mechanic like that resets the damn tank or whatever, because the game fucked you over, not because you want to be able to use this and spam it and just be able to get unstuck and drive anywhere and just hit the button. No, people want to be able to drive the vehicles without the game preventing them from driving the vehicles. Real art comes from struggle and pain, not full bellies and warm beds. You're goddamn right. You're fucking exactly right. It's fucking pathetic and sad what this game has turned into in just a less than 2 month period of time. It is absolutely pathetic. And yeah, dude, okay, so I was a DJ for a really long time, and techno DJ, not like a wedding DJ. And there's one thing you learn, and I when I was into Metallica as a kid, I started playing guitar at 14. Like, they were the driving force to me trying to become a musician, right? And then the realization of never being able to have a band was like, none of my friends wanted to learn drums, right? So then I got into DJing after going to my first rave. But the whole point of that is there were times in my life where I owned a fair amount of gear, to play with. And I realized for myself that I was less creative with more gear. And so then I stripped everything down. I used turntables and a MIDI controller and a really nice mixer. And once I had just those three elements, it forced me to be creative. And that full bellies statement is exactly it, man. It's spot on. Support was my first level 10. I still play it sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I've dropped like 13,000 fucking boxes in this game. I did hear that the trucks are adding up the amount of supplies, like it says 150 per box or whatever it is, like it's adding that into that 13,000, so that kind of sucks. But I definitely have dropped my fair share of 10,000 plus supply drops in game, and I'll still play once in a while, right? Like we got guys excuse me, we got some guys that regularly play squad lead even though they've been level 10 forever. For one, they're just really good at it. I'm too high strung to be squad lead, and I move kind of fast through the map, so I know it's hard for people to keep up. And I don't mention that I need someone's help until it's like I need it now. So I'm not like the best squad lead when it comes to maintaining the group function. But yeah, I mean, I will regularly jump in as support when needed, because we'll do like the double drop. You know, you drop supplies, another guy comes in, drops supplies. Now you're building a Gary in enemy territory without the commander having to give your spot away in the map by dropping you supplies. So yeah, when it comes to that situation, I will. But I'll give you an example. When I played it on Saturday, I just played with some randoms, right? And we had like a squad, like a 100, a 50, a 35, a 34, and like a 12. And my squad lead was like I don't know, 80 something, right? And he was requesting that someone come in and drop supplies. And nobody would do it. Nobody was talking. And he's like, Twin, will you come in and drop supplies? I'm like, actually, I won't. I was like, there's plenty of new fucking people in this goddamn squad that they can come in and they can drop fucking supplies. I've dropped 13,000 supplies in this game. It's someone else's turn. And that's not being rude about it, even though it might sound rude. It's that, no, these other fucking noobs, they can help promote better gameplay by jumping in and being support. And after I said that, someone jumped in and dropped supplies. But it's sad that I even have to go that route to say, you're going to ask the guy that's a level fucking 351 to come in and drop supplies when you got fucking noobs that definitely don't have any supply drop achievements, nor are they level 10 support. Fuck off. You know? Multiple times I've been stuck everywhere, but it's 500 hours of driving, and now I now rarely get stuck. Turned a Panther into an AA gun trying to get on a roof. Yeah, I mean, I know they raised like the run height. So like they, you know, you're not getting stuck on so much stuff nowadays. Yeah, you would have thought they could have done that a long fucking time ago. It's terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe I should have spent some more time in tanks throughout my time of playing this game. It's just that kind of gameplay doesn't interest me, even though like the highs and the lows are okay. So infantry's got this intensity, like you're physically moving around, running around, you're looking for action, you're shooting, you're doing shit. It's got this, like, it maintains like let's just say a 5, right? In the intensity zone, 1 being low intensity, 10 being the best, right? Running as infantry maintains a 5 for me, and then it goes to a 10 in the drop of a hat. Tanks, for me, is like a 2 to 3 most of the time, and then it goes to an 11. And it's so fucking stressful, dude, but I wish I would have probably spent some more time in tanks just to understand a bit more of the mechanics of them. Yeah, I can drive a tank, I can shoot a tank, I can spot a tank, I can do all that. I just, maybe like what I don't know about tanks is like the good vantage points, where you can sit, and, you know, get a lot of kills on certain objectives. I know there's people that know those spots. I just don't know them. All right, so let me just put something else on here. Let me show you this clip. Sorry, I've been talking. I know there's no video in the background. I apologize. I'm not an experienced streamer, so I'm doing what I can here. Sorry, I'm gonna find this clip here of me shooting at nothing in the fucking street. I just rearranged some hard drives, so it might just take me a minute here. I have 6 terabytes full of like saved gameplay, so it's takes me a minute here. Oh, you know what? I think it's right here. Strange spawn. Oh no, that's not it. Nice run, invisible wall at 12. I think this is it. Is this Foy? Yeah. So I'll just let this play. It comes up at 12 minutes. We're at 10 minutes right now. Make sure I got okay, 50% sound. Yeah, there's gonna be a moment in here where I'm like laying on the street, flat fucking road, and an invisible wall prevents me from getting a kill. It's just fucking absurd. Yeah, the poll I put out earlier. I want it. I mean, I hopefully I've been speaking very blunt about this update because you know, I don't want to be one of those guys that just constantly shits on devs and that. Like I get it's hard, right? Like I get what you're doing is a difficult task, but I'll tell you what Elon Musk is doing is much more difficult, by like 100 miles more difficult. So I just don't find it any excuse for the update 13.5 and update 14 and them ignoring the fucking player base. This is not the time. Transparency is everything. You claimed you were going to be fucking transparent, and now you pulled back your dev brief you were going to put out today. Oh, I wonder why. Huh? It's terrible. Yeah, so here comes that part here where I end up laying in the road. So if you're watching, check this out. Just want to say thanks to all you guys for joining in the chat and commenting too. Oh, I was gonna say too, like my poll here, to tear them apart. Like whoever voted milk toast, I appreciate you too. But I really wanted to just tear into these fucking guys because they're fucking up. When a dog shits on the carpet, you rub his nose in it. Yeah, 6 terabytes is my porn collection. That's so funny. Who's downloading porn nowadays, though, man? You just bookmark that shit, you know? Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw it there. Let me just go back here. Go to shoot that guy. It's right there. And what? Look at that. It's fucking shooting. What am I shooting? What the fuck is in front of me? Why can I run through that? Nothing there. And there we go. Okay, finally move over to the tracks and now I can shoot through it. It's fucking garbage. It's fucking trash. Multiple times I've been stuck everywhere, but it's $500. Oh, I already read that one. Yeah. Not enough. Do more. Yeah, it's terrible, dude. Yeah, rage quit. It's from playing this game for so long, you just go, okay, this game sucks. Let me just move on. We've made the joke in my Discord for so long, dude, that once you reach level 200, it's almost like there's skill-based hit detection implemented into the game, where the game automatically, your shots coming up against a lower player won't hit because you're the better player. And it's sadistic. And to be honest, Activision actually has 2 patents on doing exactly that. So I'm saying it as a joke, but in reality, Activision has had a patent since like 2017 on doing exactly that. And there's plenty of video out there about Warzone being exactly that. You know, a 4 KD player comes up against a 0.9 KD player and half your bullets don't hit, so that person has a fucking chance at staying alive. I don't think they're intelligent enough to put it into this game, thank God, let alone there's a patent owned by someone else. But we've made the joke for a long time in the Discord that once you reach level 200, this game just finds a way for someone else to take you out. Even though you had the jump, you fired the first shot, you got the first hit, that guy turns around and kills you. It's pathetic. You've raged and uninstalled a few times. Yeah, it's I've only uninstalled the game. I used to through update 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I would uninstall the game, then reinstall it for the update because it always just made the game run better. But yeah, hey, less viruses in my 90s porn than this new stuff. Yeah, that shit was on VHS. VHS. So funny, dude. Can we talk about tank physics? Yeah, man. Yeah, let's do it. I've done a pop shove 360, a 360 kickflip, backflip. Oh my fucking God, dude. Okay, so I don't even know where to find this video. It's so goddamn funny, dude. I wish I knew where I saw it. This was definitely back in like update 8, update. It might have even been update 9. There's a video out there, you guys might know where this is, but it's just really short. It's of a tank that for some reason is spinning in complete circles, 360s, like really fast. And it's standing in one spot. And the guy is playing that song in the background, the right round, baby, right round, baby, right. You know, and it's just that fucking video explained Hell Let Loose in like 20 seconds, you know? A few other tricks. I don't think it's intentional. It's normally a clipping issue. Yeah, it's you know, I don't know. I mean, like we've all fallen through the map, right? Like, I don't know if you guys played long enough to where you get hit by a grenade and you'd fall through the bottom of the map. I used to love those moments because, and I used to put them in my videos a lot when they would happen because it just kind of gave you the underside of what the map kind of looked like and the structures. And so I don't know, like that clip I just showed where I was like sitting in the road. I don't really know like what is sitting there that is blocking me from shooting, but I can run through it and not like have to step over something. Like I don't quite understand what other layers are in the map that are sticking up that are preventing me from doing it. Is it a piece of code? Is it an old update? Like, did they bring parts like of code from update 8 over to the new update? And like, you know, like a hot fix didn't get brought over that fixed that issue previously. There's a lot going on with that. Thoughts on Operation Harsh Doorstep? I've never played it. I think Blue Drake is a good dude. I think being able to bring the community together, to build something that is a legitimate passion project, all the better. But do I think it's a game? I don't really, and I don't think they do either. Like, I think they are, for one, they're open about the mod support and what they want for mods. And I believe if Hell Let Loose was open for mod support, you'd have people that could fix this game in like maybe a week, maybe even less. I bet there's someone sitting down right now that is looking at this game going, dude, I could fix that in 2 minutes. Like, oh, you know? So I don't know. I think Operation Harsh Doorstep is a good base engine, right? It's a good base start for the expansions of mods later. And if that's the purpose it's trying to fill, then, you know, then he's created something that could potentially have 10 years of support. I've seen some of the mods that are out there for it. I know they just introduced some vehicles. And I wish him all the best on that. I think it's fucking awesome when it's a little more dialed in. And I start hearing like some things that it's actually like some solid gameplay right now. Then I'm in, like, totally 100%. Yeah, mod support is let me cover this. Oh, I'll just cover this one now. Mod support for Hell Let Loose is like a wet dream. New game modes, new factions, loadouts. It would be so good. Excuse me. It'd be over the top good. I don't think that'll happen until the devs drives this goddamn game back into the fucking ground. And even after the 6 years of promised updates or whatever it is, maybe then the game will open up to mod support, and it probably should. I think if they can go back to update 13 and kind of focus on the details and move along with how the game was progressing, then 6 years is looking pretty damn positive. And if they open up mod support, then you've carried on the game for at least another 4 or 5 years. And can I see myself playing this game for that long if they kept it on the track it was on? Yes. Yeah, I can see myself playing this game for that long. It's what I've built a community around. It's what I've built a YouTube around. It's what I've literally, I would be rank 500 a long time ago if I didn't put out any videos. I have like, what is it? I got like 3 DJ videos on there that I've had for years, but I have 280 Hell Let Loose videos for sure. And the thousands of hours I've spent editing, I would have been rank 500 a long time ago. So yeah, I can see myself playing this. I think it's got the greatest community ever. Besides some of the noobs who think this is Call of Duty or play medics like the Battlefield, for sure. But they just need time to grow and learn. And it takes a few updates. I know I missed one here. Let me go back. Getting blown through the map is so funny. Yeah. To me, when I crashed really hard in Sim Racing 2. Yeah. I mean, we all remember those PlayStation 2 days and playing Need for Speed and driving through the wall on what's that? Laguna Seca. There was a wall that you could drive through that went into infinite nothingness, and that's how people were getting like top speed runs with their cars, was because it was infinite nothingness. And that's one thing we've joked about too, right? Is the ragdoll effect. Like when you shoot a guy and he goes flying up in the air, like a mile in the air. Like, I hope that's intentional, and I hope it's not a bug that ends up getting fixed. Cause I love that shit, dude. I love when someone gets blasted and they're a quarter mile up in the air flying thousands of feet. Like that. It's just great. Yeah. And, mods would complete me. Yeah. 100%. I agree. And I just know there's talented people out there that would fix this game in 2 seconds because they see the potential. They fucking see it. But nowadays when it comes to getting a job, right? Like, for something like this, you probably need a college degree, and you have to show all these little things that these little check boxes that you did, instead of actually hiring someone who's a talented motherfucker who could really shape this shit up and has a good attention to detail. Because I got to imagine, coding is similar in the sense to DJing on turntables. When you DJ on turntables with records, you hear every little imperfection. I mean, every little fucking mistake. Your ears might not hear it because you're not the one doing it. But when you make the tiniest little adjustments and things are just a 16th out of the correct BPM, you can audibly hear that. And I got to imagine coding is very similar when it comes to the level of detail you need to have to keep up on your mistakes as you progress forward. But if you get too far and you haven't fixed your previous mistakes or corrected your code, it's going to show up in the end result. Yeah, and that's the thing that, okay, so going, Ripa, to go further on your point, when I read the Hell Let Loose Discord, for one, that it's just almost as big a dumpster fire as Reddit is, but when I read like the people's comments that, are telling like the veterans to shut up, quit fucking whining, you just don't like change. Like, honestly, fuck you, dude. Fuck you, asshole. You're going to be gone out of this game. You aren't even level 50. You probably never even dropped a goddamn garrison. You probably don't have 35 achievements. You haven't grown with the game. You're just shitting on people who have a passion enough to speak out about the game. And those noobs will be fucking gone. Those people aren't sticking around, dude. Those are the people that have 350 games in their Steam library, and they're just coming to to shit on people that are speaking about something they're passionate about. You know, it's why people have shit on burning wiki in the past, right? Like we don't have to fucking like every goddamn YouTuber, but it's why people have shit on him before for just having a negative attitude, because they cannot comprehend someone speaking passionate about something, because those same people aren't passionate about anything in their lives. You know, hopefully someday you'll be able to just jump through a fucking LAN cable and choke someone, you know? It's just so stupid. And as if the Hell Let Loose Discord isn't full of people with legitimate concerns about the future of this game. There's nothing like this game. There's no community like it. You know, as that even I say it is deteriorating. But yeah, plenty of people are going to fucking play this game and the bugs are going to get out of control. And I laugh at the ones that say, I haven't experienced any bugs in the game. It's like, oh, gee, are your eyes open while you're playing it? Or you just haven't played it long enough. You played 3 matches and didn't have any issues because you played St. Mary Glees as the Americans and you used a fucking grease gun. You know, you used every option in the game that doesn't really show you the bugs much, right? And you just chalk up your shitty shooting just to, you know, not understanding that the hit detection is actually poor. Or the net code, whichever one it might be. But yeah, it's coding is written repetition. Most programmers these days just copy and paste solutions. Yeah, I mean, I would assume with that, I would think that, okay, so I was a painter, owned my own business, and was a painter for 21 years. There's one job in my entire life that I went to where I was called in to fix a previous painter's work that they had to fire. I didn't know this previous painter, never met this other guy. This guy is like I can't remember if he owns it. He's something big in the Hoover vacuum industry. I think it was Hoover. I could be wrong, but it's a vacuum company. And this guy was richer than a motherfucker. But I walked into this goddamn house and this house was immaculate, dude. I mean, this is as good of quality paintwork as I could have done. And, you know, I was an exceptional painter. I really gave a fuck about details. I mean, I've painted walls 11 different shades of pink because it wasn't the right shade of pink, right? Like I've done mainly custom homes my whole life and, big ass homes. And I actually had to tell the homeowner that, like, I honestly don't think that repainting these areas of your house is going to make them look any better. And specifically, they had these cabinets that had so many coats of fucking paint on these brand new cabinets because they weren't flawless with every coat, which isn't the case. That the actual face of the drawers, if I put any more coats of paint, would begin to touch each other. And over time, like, you can only put so many paints on before things get too thick. And this guy was taking a flashlight and going behind, like, where his bathroom door opened, and he was running a flashlight, like, up and down the wall to look for inconsistencies in the taping job. And, like, I mean, he was nitpicking this shit to death. But I literally just told him, like, I don't think I can actually do a better job than the previous painter you hired, who did a really, really good job. And that's how I feel like the coding situation is, right? There's a real chance with coding that adding something to tweak it to make it even just that little bit better could fuck up everything else down the line. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer, but as far as I understand it, that seems like a real plausibility. I'm at my wit's end with the hit reg. Yeah. Yep. I can't fucking stand getting the jump, taking someone out, putting 3/4 of a clip with the fucking STG into them, and then they just turn around and shoot me. Like, what the fuck are we playing this for? It is literal mind torture. And it you know, maybe all these new kids playing the game are used to Call of Duty where people are bullet sponges and you got to put 12 fucking bullets into someone for them to die. Maybe they're just used to it. So they think this is normal. Maybe they don't understand that this is a low TTK game. And, you know, this really all started when they started nerfing the fucking guns, right? This really actually started being a real problem when they nerfed the guns. Because the rifles used to be a one-hit kill, you know, up to whatever distance before they stopped letting the enemy render in at 500 meters. Then instead of having different guns have a different damage multiplier, they changed it so that every SMG is the same. It's a 2-hit kill past 75. The Gewehr is a 2-hit kill past 100, and the bolt action and the Garand are a 2-hit kill past 200. And that's when it started. And in reality, that just made me become a better shot with the rifles, knowing that I had to hit them twice. So like over time, yeah, that sucked, but over time I kind of didn't care. But now that the hit detection is bad and the guns don't actually kill at the distances you say they're gonna, that's a fucking problem. And if you have a game that's a first-person shooter and one of the biggest issues in your game is hit detection in a game that's been out for 4 years and had many layers of development to it, and now it's broken beyond belief because of a new dev team that fucked with it, dude, I got no patience for that shit. I hit someone twice and then they turned around and one-shot me with a comparable gun at the same time. Yeah, it's fucking pathetic. So like what's happening on the server end of that, right? Like is this, so like rubber banding happens when the server can't determine your location in the map. So is the hitbox, is there a hitbox for blood and a hitbox for actual damage? Because it kind of seems like it. If that's the case, is the hitbox like 20 seconds behind the enemy? Is it 3, 4, 5 seconds behind the enemy? I mean, I'm literally wondering, has anybody ever blatantly like missed the visible enemy on screen with a bullet and still got a kill? Like, has anybody caught that on video? Is that a thing? It would kind of give us an idea if the server's really struggling hard and the hitbox just isn't following the player model, because that's what it seems like to me, especially when they lay in the ground. When they lay in the ground, it seems like the hitbox is like underneath the ground. Oh, let me see here. They sort of strip back the second layer and try again. Yeah, and you know what? It takes swallowing your fucking pride to do that. It's they could instantly turn this fucking game back around. Say we're sorry, like fucking people who have testicles, right? You stand up and you say you fucked up. I'm sorry. We'll fucking definitely pay attention better now because we understand the community a lot better now. And we won't do that again because we like money and we like to have a player base. That seems pretty standard to me when it comes to running a business. I don't know though. I'm not Team 17 who spent a lot of time developing Worms and then now bought an FPS for 47 million when they could have just built a new fucking game for that much money. Especially the trailer. You look at the trailer and it looks like a completely different game. Like, okay, how about you go build that fucking game and leave Hell Let Loose alone? Leave it at update 13, open it up for mod support, and let the mods actually take care of the game. Because they will. A mod that's sitting in his room taking care of a game will put blood, sweat, and fucking tears into that, you know? Because it's his art. It's his art for the world to see. You know, but when you're a big conglomerate and you got all this fucking money, it doesn't matter. You just throw more money at it, and apparently that solves problems. I don't think I finished your full comment there, so let me just read it again. I'm at my wit's end with the hit reg. So many times I've hit someone twice, I turn around. Comparable. I did read that. Okay, yep. It will be pulled apart and start again to fix the legacy bugs. That's a real tough one, man. I don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind if they brought the game all the way back to update 7. Like, I think the true veterans of this game, the ones that quit in update 6, which I think for some update 5 technically, I mean update 5 people hated it because of the ninja garrisons. So they got rid of ninja garrisons in update 6, and then when update 7 came out, they brought in airheads, which is just like the same thing as a ninja garrison, which is what they wanted to curb in the first place. But I think update 6 is arguably the one update that people really, really, really loved. So I'd be fine. And I'm pretty sure that most of the bugs weren't in there. The loadout bug and shit wasn't there in update 7, wasn't there, I don't believe, in update 8. Might have been in 9 when they changed the graphics like crazy. That might have been when it all kind of started. Some people might have had it prior, but it definitely wasn't super prevalent. But I'd be fine. You want to bring back the game to update 6, get rid of some of the core functionality, bring back the 1 minute buffer on recapping an objective to prevent steamrolls. That was great. Bring back building nodes in enemy territory, so it actually gave nodes a purpose, and it took skilled shooters to be able to run out into enemy territory and place those fucking nodes. It made them valuable. And then you just pull that shit away, make the game soft cocked, and now the game's just a run and gun. So I mean, all these little things have led to piss poor decision making, but I think if they really ripped everything apart, brought it back to update 6, and kept a lot of the code, and eventually brought it back to where update 13 was, but with the British, I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. I think if you came out and said, look, guys, this is going to be a fucking issue. We realize where the problem lies. It's going to take us a full year to fix. Let's get on with it. I think the community would be super, super grateful, and it would really show a level of dedication for this dev team to be able to go back that far, fix the problems, and then move forward. And no fault to Black Matter. Like nobody is out there saying these guys are, gods and, know how to fix every little problem on the planet. I mean, shit, there's people that sell cars because a mechanic who spent, a year working on it can't find the little electrical problem, right? So like, we get it. Like we totally understand. We're with you. We're fighting for you. Like we want this game to be successful. That's why the Hell Let Loose is flooded. It ain't full of people bitching. It's people who want this game to be successful. They want their communities back. They want to enjoy it with their friends. They want to have the laughs they were having before you fucked with things, I wonder what the did I read that? Too many coats of paint to try to fix it when they should have stripped that. Yeah, except for these were brand new custom cabinets. So like that whole issue was, I mean, there was like 7 coats of oil-based paint on these cabinets. And this is a $5 million home. You're not going to strip those cupboards as a painter when they were new before you touched it. And then like fuck up the corners on the drawers and the angles and all that. Like that is not an option. Sure, if it was like an old cupboard in a standard house, like, yeah, you strip it and then you start over. But this is like a $80,000 cupboard system in a bathroom. You're not getting paid $80,000 to paint it, let alone to strip it and fuck it all up and have to file an insurance claim, to replace it. Like most of the homes I worked on were $1 million plus. So, there's kind of, that's why it takes a very skilled painter to understand that you have a blank slate. That's a perfectly clean blank slate and you don't fuck it up. And the painter didn't fuck it up. He did a very flawless job. It was the homeowner who was being too anally retentive about very, very minor things. I mean, things that you don't see standing 2 feet from it. But if you get a flashlight on it and you're looking at it like right up on it with your eyeballs, then you see it. That's the kind of things this guy was picking apart. And I knew for myself it would have just been a losing opportunity to even touch that cupboard because I don't think I could have sprayed it I couldn't have put another coat of primer, scuffed it, put primer, and then 2 more coats of top coat without the actual drawers touching as they close. Like it was tough, dude. Let me see here. Did I miss something? Yeah, I wonder what the handover for the coders was like. Do they sit down and go through it all, like explain all the details? I doubt it, right? Well, no, I can't say that because I think in this situation, because Team 17 was always the publisher for Hell Let Loose, Black Matter was the dev team. I have to imagine there was some movement back and forth, hand in hand, over the time of fixing it. Maybe there's some devs they communicate with on the Team 17 end that might have some influence on how to fix some of this shit. Like you never know, but I would assume that Team 17 has a way to influx all of this data and coding and use it for their own. Where I think they went wrong really isn't just the run speed. I think the run speed just made the snowball too big. But the art design, okay, so let me just pause this right here. This is actually a perfect frame to pause it on because it's I'll do it with the mouse, sorry. I'm picking up a reflection here of the wall, right? But if you look at these lines, this is just a reflection. But go play with some of the British guns. You'll see these lines on the gun where it looks kind of polygonish. It doesn't look like this gun. I'll go forward just a little bit to that reflections gun. Okay. You see how this gun looks smooth? It actually looks round. Look at the British guns. Like, look at the rifles. It'll have like a little line right here that's like a crease. It's like a polygon that has another flat angle with texture that they tried to make it look round. But to me, it doesn't look round. It looks very squared, especially when aiming down sight. Okay, right there. That's a good example. So like right here, you can see, although this is just like a flat overlay in real life, right? This, with the texture and the shininess, it looks very round. Where the British guns, there's like these little lines that go down it that make it look like a fucking polygon. So not only is the art style wrong, you can tell it's from a completely different developer. There's no way that Black Matter developed the British faction. These idiots can't even figure out where center on screen is when most monitors have, gaming monitors have an option to turn on a little dot on your screen. So how they couldn't find fucking center is just bewildering to me. And how do they not know the game runs like shit? Like, what computers are these guys using? They have like some 4090s running SLI with a fucking Threadripper CPU. Like, what are they doing to produce these games where they don't have any running problems with it? Like, you could never convince me, for one, that they actually play the game. You could never convince me, two, that the game runs smoothly on whatever computer they're developing the game on. And sure, it might run good in the engine. It might run good in the test when there's nobody on the fucking server. But yeah, it's embarrassing. Let's see. Unreal 5 comes with its own problems. Every engine is going to have its problems. But I do remember reading, and Ripa, you might know more about this, but there was Unreal Engine 5 YouTube put out a video that showed or explained just how easy it is to update your Unreal Engine 4 game to update to Unreal Engine 5. Now, I don't know what that entails. Maybe it breaks a bunch of shit and actually isn't even possible. I remember hearing the dev stated that there was a reason why they couldn't go to update Unreal Engine 5. I'm not sure. I wish I knew more about it. I wish there was enough time in life to learn that shit. But I don't know. If someone knows, let me know. I mean, what is, like, give me something that is a game-breaking thing when it comes to updating game engines. Hey, Sketchy, what's up, dude? Yeah, just a thought. Oh, did I miss you? Oh, yeah. That was yours. Rip it apart. Yeah. Let's see. It's all possible, and the games would look great, but I don't know if the game would function. Yeah, maybe it would be broke, even broken more now. And maybe it's just with a new game engine, it's just better to start over. Maybe the assets don't work properly. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's really clear Team 17 doesn't test or play the game. I have said this for so long that I was just a firm belief that I really didn't think they played this game. And I get it. When I was a painter, man, I didn't want to come home and paint my own house. I understand. Like, I'm well aware. But don't tell me that you're playing the game or you're looking forward to seeing us on the fucking battlefield. Fuck you. Fuck you. You get in this battlefield, I will make sure my Discord destroys you to where you Alt F4 or uninstall your own fucking game. There is no way these people play this fucking game. There's no fucking way they play this game. If they do, and any of you know, what's their screen names? Like, what's their Steam name? Like, do they come in as just an admin? They don't got to do it through Steam. I'm not really sure how that works. But I would just like to know, who is a dev that plays this fucking game? Let me know. I'd like to just ask you some questions. I'm heated right now, but I'm not a fucking complete prick, right? I am very open-minded and I'm not a stupid individual. So if you can break it down, even, to less, coding jargon, then I'll be able to comprehend what you're telling me. But there's no way you could convince me, even if you were a dev that told me, oh, the game runs fine for us. Yeah, we don't have any issues. We don't even know. Like, it's got to be the servers. It's got to be bullshit. Absolute fucking crap. I have done enough testing in this game. I have switched motherboards. I've gone back through different Windows installs, through different updates of Windows. I've gone through probably 70 different NVIDIA drivers over the course of playing this game to figure out which ones run the best, which one actually gives me the best performance. And there's only one let me play the video. There's only one set of drivers. It was for a very short period of time that NVIDIA put out. It was like 4.42 or it was 442.5 to like 445 or something like that, that if you used NVIDIA Inspector, you could unlock an option called Silk Smoothness. And honest to God, that setting, it added just a very, 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 very almost unnoticeable amount of input lag, but it removed all stutters from the game. Like every bit of them. Like from update 7 to 8 to partial 9, I believe, is when I used those drivers and never had any ADS stutters. It literally took them all away. And NVIDIA removed that from their drivers. So I have done so much fucking testing in this game. It's unbelievable. I know where certain pixels are in the Carrington home base on the German side. Like a certain pixel you can look at and see a frame drop. And it'll go from 120 FPS down to 50. You move it one pixel over and now you're back up to 120. It's so fucking sad. If you played this game, they would realize what they need to fix. So that's why they could never convince me that they play this fucking game. Plus, if you did, you wouldn't stay alive long enough to even be able to test out your own game. You'd get shit on so fucking quick. Let's see here. Black Matter. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Black Matter used to do in-game events with players before. In the PTEs. That's why everybody was really weary when Team 17 came along and said they're getting rid of the PTE. And the reason they're doing that is because they're going to take the game in a completely new direction, and they don't want to hear the fucking feedback. They don't at all. And it shows. But they are going to have a private server for them to do their testing on. Okay, well, don't tell me you play the game and then you're doing it on your own little private fucking server. Because for one, you need a private server to know how this game is even interacting on the server. But is this a private server that you're running in your own studio? Is this one that we have to rent from fucking G-Portal? Some of you guys have played on the TL of the line one, right? On the TL of the line, the one that says Core i9. Why does that server use a consumer grade CPU? And that server runs fucking mint. Like, with the updates, it's still got the problems, right? But when update 13 was happening, that server was mint, dude. Like, why does a consumer, and when I rented a server, I had two options. I could go through this one guy. I can't remember what service it was called, but they charged like $10 more a month, and they were using also a Core i9 CPU, and you had access to like 5 gigs of RAM. And I'm like, the game runs on 5 gigs of RAM? They're like, yeah, dude, it barely runs on like 4 gigs of RAM. Like, you don't really need more. I'm like, what? That's weird, but yeah. But why is there a consumer grade CPU, and why does that server run so goddamn nice? And if Team 17 is using their own server to test the games, then just tell us the specs, man. Tell us the specs that you're using for that server so we can all have a better understanding of what you're testing. If the game had an in-game benchmark, we could do actual real testing, you know? Does anyone, oh, wait. Let's see, Black Matter. Okay, yeah, I read that. Are we expecting the devs to address this directly as a damage report? Dark Tide had to do this recently, just came out and was like, yeah, sorry, we're working on it. You know what, man? That's all this community needs to hear right now. And you know what? This is how pathetic Team 17 is right now. And I feel bad for the Wombat Medic. I've said this already in the stream, but the Wombat Medic put out a statement today saying that we were going to put out, I'm going to butcher it a little bit, but we were going to put out a dev brief today, but we're going to delay that and assess the update 15 trailer. I'm sorry. The world has seen it. You've already had a chance to assess the fucking bullshit trailer you put out that is just a slap in the face to this fucking community and everything they give a damn about, and the history buffs. Like, I'm sorry. You know, you guys already put it out. You already fucked up. It's in a sad state, and I think they should pull up their little britches and apologize to the community, not saying, oh, we'll assess. You've already assessed. You've already assessed the game. You've already made the purchase. You've already fucked it up. You've already pissed off the community, and you're gonna just sit back and you're gonna assess it with the big dogs in the office with your fucking motivational poster hanging on the wall that says devotion to duty. Fuck you. And what is this this other what's this other company that apparently might have made the trailer? This something 6. What is it called? So someone posted in the chat. What's this? Cover 6, right? Cover 6. It's like, yeah, this is the person covering your 6, right? Covering your ass. This is the fucking blame game. You're just gonna, cover 6. Is this the name of the new dev studio? Like, I don't know. Is it a third-party company from India? Like, what the fuck is this? They're definitely not covering your 6 if that's what they're designed to do. Yeah, I think if the devs just come out and say, hey, we're sorry. We are actually sorry. We're going to revert back to update 13 and we're going to take it back to the drawing board and fix the goddamn game. Dude, people would be cheering right now because we would all be able to see that they realize what we've been saying and that we look forward to a different path than what they're currently trying to take. That's interesting. In Dark Tide, I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm more interested in the way that they did it and the words they used instead of some Chat GPT bullshit. I'd like to see the words that Dark Tide used because words matter, and like I think it would show how much they actually love their community. Where right now, I don't think Team 17 loves us at all. And it shows. It's just a money-making opportunity with a destroyed game that isn't making any money. So it's hilarious. That's one thing I forgot to mention. For console, the game is actually, they're going to lower the player count for the servers to up performance. So I assume they'll probably try it with step 1 and drop to the 80 players. I think that's one of the options. It's 100, maybe it's 82 and 64 are the options for purchasing a server. So if they drop the player count to 82, you're already playing a different game. Like, 64 people, 32 aside. I think those are the best matches, to be honest. But you know, because performance is so fucking bad on console, the dev team is literally dropping the amount of players allowed on the servers to test. I just find it fucking hilarious. It's terrible, dude. And we all know it. Like, you can go into an empty server and your frame rate's perfect. Your frame times are perfect. And then the second you get into any bit of combat, it just tanks, man. Working on current servers. Server hosts will have to create new servers. Boy, I would hope they would have planned this out better, and it's just going to be a game mode, but it's going to kick people, right? If it's a 32 versus 32 or whatever it's supposed to be, it's going to kick people if it comes that, right? So I think some of these guys, like, you know, the bigger clans, right? Like Easy, TL, I would assume they're going to have a game mode server. Like, I mean, I don't know how else you'd do it. Which I'm fine with, right? Like, that's not bad. I hope I don't have to go play on like official Hell Let Loose servers where the fucking cheaters run rampant and no one gives a fuck. Like, I hope that ain't it, because that's a losing opportunity. Give me one second here. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, right? Because what are you gonna kick a bunch of players off your server after the match ends for a smaller game mode that maybe people don't want to play? I don't know. You would have thought that, you know, the minute someone brought that up, like in the boardroom, like, why don't we make another game mode? And everyone's going, yeah, sounds fucking awesome. And nobody asked the question of, well, how is that going to switch over in the servers? Like, nobody asked that question. So I assume they have some form of a plan. Yeah, dude, I have always had good times on the TL servers. Always. Like, since I've been playing this game. Like, I've never had a bad time. And you guys have skilled players, which I like. I love that fucking competitive 50 plus server. I don't know if you know, but I tried to have a server that was a 75 plus or 70 plus, because I wanted to play the game with people who were at least I'll just maybe use this word, addicted, right? At level 70, I think you start to gain the addiction of Hell Let Loose and you start searching out information. And I wanted to play with more people that were 70 plus, people that were, you know, addicted to the game and wanted to learn some more. And believe me, the battle for the middle matches we had were fucking sweaty, you know, but we all enjoyed it, right? Like, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can give me some info on that I9 server, like, cause that's that server runs so great. The game runs like shit right now, but you know, before all this happened, that I love playing on that server. Cloud 6, fuck yeah, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, someone probably installed the 9 upside down in the office, and they're just like, that's actually pretty cool, dude. You know? Fucking hilarious. On the new maps, every time someone joins, the whole game lags after 64 players. So yeah, I don't doubt the console will just become a 64 player. And to be honest, it should, man. There's no reason this game should be running at such poor performance when you put it on console. There's no fucking games on console that run this piss poor. None. Because console community doesn't put up with that. Why would they? Remember when games were on discs and they actually had to be finalized? Oh my God, can you imagine a game that had to be finished and no way to update it afterwards? Wow. But now people just pump out this piece of shit, up the fucking price, and now the game runs worse than it's ever ran, and you want more money? Wow. That's fucking ballsy. Yeah, I don't know. When I put out my console video, the console review, one thing I warned people was, when the update comes out, if it's shit, get in that Discord and light them up, dude. Light them up. And I'm really happy to see it. I really am, because it shows to me that this community gives a fuck about this game. And you are shitting on people's good times is what you're fucking doing here. Oh yeah. Oh, either way on PC. I'm just saying on the console. I think they'll probably drop it down to 64 right away, just to get the performance up there. And to be honest, I think console players will enjoy the smaller 32 versus 32 matches. I think they will. You'll be able to run around a bit more. You'll be able to get your tanks up onto the line a little bit more. You know, I think the game just plays better at 64 than it does at 100. Like the match quality, the movement around the map, you know, it becomes even more of a communication based game. You don't, when you got 100 people, 50 aside, you don't need everybody to communicate, you know, where 64 or 32 aside, you kind of do. Let's see here. It seems like the console experience is very different than PC. It is very different. The lag is incredible. As someone who's played this game since Update 7 with a controller, I knew personally that the controller experience was going to be fucking horrendous. I don't play with the in-game controller settings. I use a custom config through Steam. But when I first started using it, I first turned it on and was using it, I couldn't believe that this was acceptable. I didn't think it was going to be that bad, to be honest. I thought it was going to be like fairly similar to Hell Let Loose on PC, just like worse off graphics. I didn't realize that I could run through an open field and I didn't even have to look at the map to know when I was coming up on enemies. I could literally just feel the lag in the controller and I knew I was coming up on a squad without even seeing them. Like, if that's not broken, I don't know what the fuck is. Games on discs that came in boxes bigger than cereal boxes. Yeah. Yeah. You know, let's be honest, just release the code for modding and allow the Sweaty Basement Boys to create something amazing. I know. I couldn't agree more. I said it earlier. If they just reverted it back to update 13 and said, we're sorry, we're just going to maintain the game and come out with DLC from here on out. We're going to get rid of or let's just say they fixed the British because they promised it, right? Like fix the guns, fix the sights, fix the shooting, fix the reticles. And that's all you did for the next 6 years and just came out with DLC content. I don't think anybody would care as long as it played like update 13 and no worse. Nobody would care. And maybe spend the 6 years of time trying to go back and fix things on your little private server in your office there and fix the problems and, you know, fully iron out the fucking problems before you release an update. What are they thinking? Like, seriously, in what world do they live in where they thought this was going to be just a cash cow? Everything's perfect. They either thought everything was perfect in the game because of zero quality control, or they literally looked at the community and said, fuck these people, they'll eat it anyways. It's one or the other. I know there's some complications in the middle, but the attitude towards the decision making is one or the other. I would love to see some mods for this game. Can you imagine? I just, people are so creative out in the world these days, man. They can look at something like this and just like even like a guy like David Cho, right? You look at like the art that guy fucking creates and you're like, how do you even envision what you just created? How does your brain work like that? There's people out here that don't even have to play the game or build assets. They can do it all in code and just like make the game spectacular, dude. It's unreal. Skyrim is only still alive because of mods. They still earn bank from that game. Fucking right they do. They had a plan and they executed it. They didn't just buy something that was already worth money and expect it to make more money for them. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, I never played Skyrim, but correct me if I'm wrong, is that part of the Elder Scrolls series? And if so, that's you know, that's a diehard community, right? Like, I would assume that those level of games usually are pretty diehard community. Like, they're not interested in playing much else, right? Other games like that game, sure, but a lot of people who are playing Skyrim, I don't think are coming over to play Hell Let Loose, or vice versa, right? Kind of like music. Some people like one genre and other people like all genres. But yeah, well, I mean, there's a path forward to making money in Hell Let Loose. There really is. And I don't know if they just don't have the right team that's able to. Okay, cool. I don't know if they have just the right team around to be able to do it, or if Team 17 just isn't capable of figuring out the path to making money with it. It's. I mean, I think the history buffs would be pretty upset if they started making some wacky camos that like didn't fit the time period, or if there even is enough camos to fill out this time period, even if it wasn't used in this exact map in this exact location. Is there enough extras out there that people could create to where there is DLC money and longevity in that? Because it's hard for me to see it, to be honest. But there has to be a way to make money. Plenty of these other games have made lots and lots and lots of money. But I said a very long time ago, but this was with like Battlefield 2042 coming out. If Battlefield 2042 would have been epic from the day it came out, we wouldn't have seen the player base come into Hell Let Loose like we did. But because Warzone was full of cheaters, Battlefield 2042 was just not even a Battlefield game when it launched. We saw a lot of players jump over, and that's a good thing. I want to see the game grow. We all want to see the game grow. But if those two games if Warzone and Battlefield aren't a good enough example of how not to do something, I just don't know what is, man. Community for Hell Let Loose is very similar to Skyrim in their dedication and just love, passion for the game, I assume. Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's many games I bought only for the mods. Yeah, because Hell Let Loose has put me at my wit's end. I put out that squad video, and I've only played squad a handful of times. Right? I don't think it's a game I could play longevity wise. I do enjoy it while I'm in it, but it's still missing something special that Hell Let Loose has. And it's I don't know. It's a different type of game, but it's just more. Putting out a squad video is like, for me, it was only put out Hell Let Loose videos. It's just a big fuck you. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't have anything new. Like, I got terabytes of Hell Let Loose from update 13 and some from 13.5, right? Like, I could put out another 25 videos on just update 13. So, what's funny too is the PTE, public test environment, was always a place to play the game in a worse state than it currently was in. And they got rid of the PTE and pretty much put a PTE in place. And now playing the game is like playing the game in a worse state than it was prior. That is such an unbelievable step backwards for a game development company that's established that I can't even fucking understand it. That's what we're playing. We're literally playing the PTE is what we're playing right now. And honestly, guys who play golf will tell you, you know, that's why guys who play golf don't play baseball, because it screws up their swing, right? And vice versa. And that's what it's done for me. That's what it's done for a lot of people who are skilled at this game in the shooting aspect. It's ruined their golf swing with the amount of shit's wrong with the game. And who wants to be put through that level of torture? Again, I just want to thank you guys for being here. It's it just needs to be talked about. It saddens me big time, man, to see these communities tore up by it. You know, sure, there's other games we could play, but like my Discord was all brought together from this one game. And it's been really hard for us to just kind of decide on a game that we all could play in the meantime and have fun with. We're all kind of varied on the games we own. So like some people have Squad, some people have Battlefield. We just kind of been switching it up. I've been playing the shit out of Battlefield. Like I've always liked Battlefield. Since their last update, I honestly think it's a good game. It's a lot of fun. The gunplay is exciting, but it's still missing that Hell Let Loose feel, right? You know, it doesn't hit the same vein. Drive a British tank with me and you will cry. It's so bad. They just molded tanks from update 10 and chucked them in with new skins. I mean, I've heard some bad things about that Firefly. Like correct me if I'm wrong, but like the hit penetration from the Tiger isn't working properly. I heard that the turning radius is fucking horrendous. Well, that's what they did in update 8, right? In update 8, post update 8, they slowed down the tanks a little bit, and then you couldn't you used to be able to do that, like where you'd slam it into first gear and the front end would dip down and you could actually turn a little sharper. I remember that, and I don't even drive the fucking tanks, you know? But yeah, it's you know, I'm not against playing the game, right? I played this, I think it was Saturday, with the guys, but it's definitely not as enjoyable. People aren't having that great of a time anymore. I hear a lot of you know, complaining in the Discord when we're in a match, and it's not like a bad thing. It doesn't bother me two fucking bits, but I like the days when everybody was positive and everybody was hooting and hollering over their fucking headshot they just got at 250 meters. You know what I mean? I love that shit. But when I hear like, I just shot him 6 fucking times and he turned around and shot me, that gets fucking old, man. I feel everybody's pain, and I'm just so fucking tired of it. I just can't even support what's going on right now by even putting out a piece of content that's that showcases the game. I've always wanted to, you know, I've always tried to put out videos that I thought were like, that would be interesting to people, that excites people to want to get home and play the game. You know, like, yeah, okay, you end up coming to my channel, you watch a video, you know, I get some good headshots in there, and it makes you want to go play the game. That's been my purpose to try to achieve here, and just build some excitement, maybe get some new people who see how much fun I'm having, with the members of the Discord or whatever it may be. And then they buy the game and download it. And then it, you know, comes full circle into a, hey, thanks, I bought the game because, you know, it looks great and looks fun. And that's exciting for me. But I don't recommend anybody playing the game. And actually someone recently on my console review wrote, they subbed to me and said thanks because I saved them $50. And I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that, because yeah, right now you're wasting your money. You are if you're willing to grow with a game that seems like it's in a decline, I don't know. I'm really interested to see what this change log is that they plan on fixing, and what kind of bullshit they put in there, or what kind of bullshit they didn't put in there that they're gonna fix without telling us. That's really what I'm interested in. And we'll see. Maybe they can pull it back together. And if they do, man, I'm going to be so happy. And I think everyone else is going to be really happy too. So I still got one foot in the door, right? The door ain't fully closed on this game yet. I still have a little bit of hope left, but don't tell me you play this fucking game and it's historically accurate. I'm over that shit. You're a fucking liar. I know you're a liar because there's people that are way smarter than me when it comes to World War II history, and they've explained to me in detail how wrong you are about historical accuracy. So, yeah, you can fuck off with that. I don't know if you can hear my cat. She's going fucking crazy. I bring my cats out every day between 2 and 4, and she's livid right now that she's not outside. But yeah, Ripa, I mean, I'll drive tanks with you for sure. And honestly, I hear driving tanks on El Alamein is the best way to experience that map now. So, maybe as the Germans only. But yeah, dude, I know I need to get in the tanks more. I just don't do it that often. It's so frustrating for me to be in a tank. Like, if someone ain't like calling the spotting correct, their head's not on a swivel and we're getting hit, there's nothing I can do about it because you have to work as a fucking team, and it is so fucking stressful. I appreciate the conversation. I play mostly C RPG. Is that C supposed to be in front of there? Or combat RPG? Maybe that is. Maybe you can just clarify that. CRPG style games. So there isn't much community there. So Hell Let Loose gave me something in gaming I've never had, and it's sad to see it going away. It is, dude. But I mean, one thing, because everybody's kind of feeling this, right? The Hell Let Loose community will drift into another game. And I don't know when Burning Lands is coming out. I don't know if they've even said when that's coming out. But as far as games go, I don't know what people are going to do to hold themselves off in the meantime. But I think you're going to see a lot of those same names that you're seeing in game now in Burning Lands. And even if Burning Lands is rough at the start, as long as the hit detection's good and the gunplay is good and the just kind of overall meta is good, I can see people staying with it and kind of saying fuck you to Team 17. Because look, they already got our money, right? And I'm not mad about it. Like, I've put 3,200 hours into Hell Let Loose. I'm not upset at all. I got my money worth. Spent $30 on a lot worse in my life. So, I'm not mad at that. And I'm not mad for owning the DLC. What I am mad at, though, is how they can transition and then just destroy these little communities that have been built around a game. I know so many people who built a gaming PC just for playing Hell Let Loose. Yeah, no problem on the conversation. I know it needs to happen. I wish there was a format where we could all actually kind of conversate together in a civil way that doesn't have people talking over each other. But YouTube Live doesn't really, this is what we're kind of limited to here. But like I said, I want all the war correspondents to band together, and anybody making Hell Let Loose content to band together and I have a feeling it wouldn't take many people to convince everyone to just not play the game for a week and just don't play it at all. Let those numbers that are currently there sink to their all-time low. And then that seems to be the only way to get through to these fucking people, man, is money. Tell everybody to not buy the goddamn game. You're wasting your fucking money. But no hull gun on Firefly. What? There's what? So the tank only has it can only fire the shells? Are you saying there's no machine gun? Was that way in real life? Why didn't they bring in the Churchill? Why did they bring in the Firefly? Was that really that sturdy of a tank? Was that really a fucking very heavily armored tank that would go against a tiger? I need you history buffs to weigh in on that one because I have no fucking clue. Can't turn, can be penned from, okay, can be penned from anywhere. Can still power turn in second. Okay, okay. Very cute. They got comp games going and now it's gonna die off. I mean, no offense to those comp guys out there, but it's kind of a fucking joke. If you know, I don't think the comp scene should ever dictate what happens in the game in a public match because where the majority of people play, because it is so different and you guys in comp play the game much different. Not saying you guys know the best way to play it, but I'm just saying yeah, comp is going to die if the game dies for sure. And who wants to play a comp game with the fucking hit rate being so piss poor? But I know there's a lot of people out there using those NVIDIA filters. Not just the contrast. I'm talking about like the night shit, the night vision shit. And it's like, if you guys are really competitive, then none of you would be using that. And you know, I mean, when you got a level 100 who plays comp, who's like telling other people how things should be, it's like, fuck you. You don't have enough time in the game to even know what you're talking about, let alone to think 3 sentences past what you just said. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really care about the comp community. If I was going to play comp though, I'd play TL, like for sure, or WTH. Like if I had to pick one, I think I would play with one of those guys. Cause I like the community you guys have, but I don't like the fucking cheaters. I don't like the bullshit. I don't like the people using the NVIDIA filters in the night maps when you guys are already so skilled at the fucking game. It's fucking retarded. No, the Churchill was a better tank. Okay. The Firefly was only used more because it was easier to repair. Also seems like it was easier to make the model and model it off of some other garbage from the past in the game, right? Just put a new skin on it, right? It's funny. No driver machine gun. That's just pathetic. Just so pathetic. Every other tank has that, right? Does the driver in the recon tanks get a gun? I don't remember. I don't remember. I just learned that the recon tanks have like a little snapshot image thing or whatever it is that you can do for actual recon. I didn't even know that was a thing in the game. Like what? The community in Hell Let Loose was always the life and blood. The game early on was exciting and it was new and was solid. Few bugs, sure, but nothing too bad. There were great progressive updates every quarter. Absolutely. Absolutely. And would that have been a hard model for these guys to follow? No. It was already set in stone. The community was already used to this level of development. It would have been an easy path. And to be honest, with a game with this low of a player base, I think they should have nurtured it a bit. Instead of like, oh, we got all these grandiose ideas. We're going to make them run faster and we're not going to fix anything else. And we're not going to fix the fucking bugs because fuck those people. We just want their money. You know, it's terrible. The state of the game. It's the communities. Like I feel so bad for. Dude, I'm sure you guys in the TL, I'm sure you've seen some players drop off or people that just aren't joining you regularly. Or you look on the Discord and you see that they're playing Diablo 4. You know, I know it just came out, but it's like when you got people that are high rank and they're now playing something else on a regular basis, you know there's a problem. Sketchy, wasn't it a Sherman with a bigger gun? Oh yeah, yeah. Hopefully someone can answer that. Oh, are you talking about the Churchill? The Churchill was a Sherman with the bigger gun? That'd make sense. In like Battlefield 5, dude, the Churchill was a fucking monster of a tank in that game. Yes, it was a Sherman with a different gun so they could repair with the Americans instead of bringing their own parts. Oh, that's fucking cool. Yeah, that's kind of one thing where the Americans dominated, right? Is the planning. uh yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I love the history buffs in this fucking game, dude, cuz I know me being not a history buff, I know that the ones that are trying to put yourself into the whole reason we have a damn country to fight for, right? And you can relive a bit of that through this game, even though it's just a game. Like, yeah, I got a lot of respect for people like that. I can't imagine, dude. There ain't no fucking soy boys nowadays that are gonna go out and fight and have to look your enemy in the eyes. That shit doesn't happen anymore. They're long gone are those days. Now they're controlling drones with Xbox controllers and shit and bombing people from all over the world that you don't even lay fucking eyes on, dude. It's pathetic. Let me see if I got I'll see if I got any other old Hell Let Loose videos. Let's see. What's in this folder? This is all right, we'll go to this video. This is the first games of update 8. I know I'm holding on to so much shit, dude. I got like 30 terabytes of data from the past 20 years that I've been holding on to, you know? Uh, British went for ultra reliable vehicles, but they couldn't make enough parts by late war to keep up. So the Firefly was used. Okay, so was the Firefly kind of a smorgasbord of parts lying around? Or, I mean, there had to be some design into it, right? But, yeah, it's kind of like that old Chevy truck you see driving around in your local little neighborhood that's got a Dodge box bolted to it. Was it like that, or was there an actual plan and they knew they could manufacture parts for the Firefly rapidly? Sheer lack of development for D-Day in our country was sickening. Isn't it, dude? Can you fucking believe we got homeless veterans sleeping on the fucking street and we give them 1 day a year and most of the people don't even fucking know what that day means? Can you fucking believe that, dude? I can't even talk about it, man. It's fucking just drives me to no fucking end. People could be that goddamn clueless. Meanwhile, everyone else gets a fucking month. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crap. It's bullshit. Call it Pride Month. I thought Pride was a deadly sin. But that's just me. Yeah, man, I'm so thankful for veterans out there that I get to sit here and enjoy my time playing a video game of a situation that actually happened without the consequences. Like, I can't tell you how thankful I am for all of those real men who went out and fought. And I mean, even the young ones who got in before they were 18, you know, those crazy little bastards, right? Who are like, I'm going to go fucking fight, you know, and just put up with whatever. Do you look at any of those old pictures? It doesn't matter what picture it is. You look at a picture of someone in World War II and you look at their face and you can tell, you can tell the thoughts going through their head. You can tell possibly malnourished, that kind of thing. And just the look of they've seen some shit that they didn't know they were going to see. And I'm just so fucking glad it wasn't me, you know? Sherman Hall with turret built for the gun attached. Easy to repair and replace. Okay. Makes sense. Which I would assume comes down towards the end of a war, right? Because like even when you build a car, you know, like Ford knows how many excess parts beyond how many vehicles they're gonna build that they have, and that's like the old fucking Johnny Cash song. I don't know the name of the song, but it's like 59 or what is it, 51, 52, 56 or 53, 54, 56. He's building a Cadillac, and the story is he's been stealing parts from the Cadillac dealership, and he wanted a Cadillac, and it's a smorgasbord of fucking parts he pieced together. And now he's finally got a Cadillac. You know, it's like that. Like, I got to assume when it comes to a war and building parts, they don't want to waste money on excess parts, so they'll make something that's easy to make, refine it, and pump it out as quick as they can, I assume. Our Anzac Day in Australia is fortunately still respected and revered by everyone. Yeah, I mean, and Australia is a melting pot, right? Like, I mean, you guys got, I mean, technically you guys are the old UK prisoners, right? Or what? There's a joke we make here in America that's like you guys are. Were you the prisoners of? Yeah, I know I'm getting that right? Like the prisoners of the UK that were sent to the island, and now you have people that were prisoners at one point in time now are the police and the government, and it's. I hope you can understand the connection I'm making there. But yeah, it's I like that you guys still have a bit of your history that people adore, because it seems like nowadays it's even people will look at you cringy to love this country and support the flag and everything that it means. But none of these fucking people know what it's like. They can't even point to half the countries on a goddamn map. I guarantee you there is a large enough portion of people in the US who couldn't point to Canada, you know, let alone tell us how to live, tell other people how to live and how important history was. You ask them when World War II happened, and they're going to say some dumb shit like 1980. Like, these people are so fucking stupid out here. It's unbelievable. And that's why they have dumb ideas. You know? It's like, why, you know, most people don't like something that they don't understand. That's just a fact. And so I get it. The public education system has failed many kids. What's the old George Carlin joke? They started a program called Head Start, and now they changed it to No Kid Left Behind. It sounds like someone's losing fucking ground here, you know, and it's so true. It's 100% fucking true. A whole bunch of comics made something awesome. So, hey, man, I would love to see Australia someday. I really would. I'm sure it's beautiful. And I'm sure the people are good, man. I'm sure there's a lot of good things going on there. I don't like your little camps you're throwing people in during COVID, but you know, that shit's a little too Orwellian for me. But you know, but again, they would never do that shit here in the U.S. There's way too many guns. We have more guns than fucking people, and there's enough people holding on to their guns for the exact reason the Second Amendment exists. Oh yeah, it's the joke between Idiocracy and and being real life now. It is. I mean, look at these people giving Gatorade to the plants. It's got electrolytes. You know, how come you don't have tattoo? You know, it's it is. We're living through it, dude. We're living through it. You know, people made fun of the movie Wall-E when that came out, that there'd be all these fat people in those floating chairs with, you know, robots doing everything for you, and you just got to drink your soda and eat your fucking fast food and live in the pod and eat the bugs. And that shit's fucking happening. I mean, look at they already put that fucking cricket protein powder. You'd have to look up what it is. There is a name for it, and it is in food already. So it's real. It's real. Cows farting are destroying the planet. Apparently humans are doing it too, even though there's no conclusive evidence. It's I mean, I'm sure now there'll be some fucking global warming disclaimer on the goddamn bottom of the video. It's just so pathetic, dude. Everyone seems to know what's better for everybody else in the world, and they just spout out shit without thinking, even though they don't have their own life intact. You know? We didn't do camps in COVID. It was just each state had different laws. Oh, you actually did, though. So you did. We saw it. We all saw it. It was covered on the news here. There were you call them whatever you want, but they were definitely I don't want to technically call them an internment camp, but there was definitely holding facilities, and there was definitely people who went there. We had a pro athlete that had to go there. You had people, at least that we heard, that were, you know, you have people that were out in their front yard letting their dog take a shit, and they were fucking arrested for going outside of their house without a mask on and shit, and throwing in those you know, I don't really care what they were. You take someone out of their home and you put them in a place where they don't want to fucking be. That's prison. You call it what you want, but that's what it is. And you have to stay there until you get better. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's how they led the Jews into the fucking gas chamber. Do you think they told them they were going to do a gas chamber? No. No, they didn't. So, yeah. We saw it. We saw it because we were afraid for our lives here. We thought, how could this be happening? Everybody had a lot of shit built up they wanted to say during COVID. A lot of shit happening around the world that we were not okay with. We had lockdowns here. Nobody was okay with it. Here where I'm at in Colorado, we had yeah, I'm not kidding. You could drive an hour out of Denver and there's nobody wearing masks, dude. I met with thousands of people in the course of COVID. And never walked into a house with a mask. Met plenty of people without masks. I never got sick. I never got COVID. Never got any of that shit. I sure as hell didn't get the vaccine. Holding facilities left from immigrants, so we put people in it. Oh yeah, I mean the immigrants I understand, right? Like, because otherwise you'd have the same issues we're having on our southern border. But it's I mean, don't make me look it up, bud. But you guys definitely had COVID camps. You look it up however you want. You Google it. Maybe your Google down there is censored, similar to what we kind of got going on here. But we all saw it. Like, we all saw it here. It was regularly on the news. So I don't know if they were withholding that from you guys. But we saw it. We saw the little white trailer homes, whatever the fuck they are. And people coming to check you out wearing full Tyvek outfits and shit. And there's that pro athlete. Tennis, was it a tennis player? But yeah, I mean, anyways, fuck COVID. That was just an experimental governmental takeover, you know? The real issue is fucking, you know, I want to get into politics because no one likes that shit, right? But even though it's like hella loose, where the more we talk about it, I think the more we understand each other and where we're coming from. So, I mean, that's always positive. But let me see what else I got here. I got we already did that one. Map overlay, fun on Foy. Okay, what's this one? This was February 26th, 2021. So this would have been 2021. This could have been, oh, this is just one of my old videos. Okay, never mind. I thought it was an actual full length one. It don't matter, right? It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, COVID was wild, dude. I mean, I think the ones that have two brain cells working in their heads were kind of aware. Don't get me wrong, we were all nervous, right? We all didn't know what the fuck was going on. You don't know who's lying. Everybody in business suits seem, you're being told are the only ones telling the truth, which is fucking crap because I met quite a few ex-military guys while COVID happened when I was working. And many people said they had seen shit like this before in other countries. Many of the people who were deeply involved in the military way back when. So if these people have seen similar stuff and they weren't abiding by things and they were going about their life as if nothing changed, they must know something I don't. Because I got the guy on TV yelling at me, telling me how I need to be, how I need to act, how I need to live, how I need to wear a mask. I got people at the fucking grocery store yelling at people, to put their fucking masks on and shit, telling people what else to do. Because apparently the only time in life that you're ever protecting other people from shit that you don't currently have in your body was then. So who am I to believe? The guy yelling at me in a suit telling me how to fucking live? Or do I look at the old guy, the weathered guy who's got some real life experience in other countries? That's like, we've seen this before. So yeah, it's kind of how I feel about that. The only thing nice about COVID, man, here in Colorado was the lack of traffic. I can't tell you how many days I was doing over 100 on the way to work because there's just not a single soul in sight. It was great. Again, just thanking you guys for being here. I appreciate it. There's a lot that needed to be talked about. I hope the conversation around Hell Let Loose gets even bigger. I hope it's I hope as much as the game is as much as the community is outraged, which if I had to guess, I would say it's an 80-20 split. 80% are outraged, 20% think the game is perfect in every single possible way, shape, and form, and the devs are gods. I hope this blows up in their face 80%. That's what I hope. I hope it costs them 80% more on top of the $47 million that they've paid for their mistake. I don't wish anything good upon them except for they fix the game, realize where they went wrong, and fix it. Because how hard is it? You had a sure thing. You paid for something because it was a assured thing. And then you're like, nah, we're going to take the rims and tires off. We're going to fucking slam it to the ground. And we're going to put, really low profile tires on it without getting it aligned or fixing the camber. And we're just going to drive it till the wheels fall off. It's like, that's not a good approach to games, bud. The next 2 weeks are going to be big for the future of games. Our future of the game. Yes, they are. They are. This will be it. I can assure you that. I think there will be a big protest if people if they don't get this fucking hot fix right. I think that's it, man. I really think that's going to be the downfall of the game, and you're going to have the veterans now playing like some of the people who started in the Kickstarter. And what I mean by that is I've talked to quite a few people who have never actually played the game much. They supported it during Kickstarter. They're like a level 10 or a rank 10, and they've just came in to check on the updates and realize the game isn't right yet. And they're waiting because they don't want to have their experience skewed. And there's plenty of gamers out there who have already gone through kind of like what you mentioned with that other game. There's lots of gamers out there who are very familiar with a game changing hands and it going to shit, and they know, so they don't want to even get attached to a game because of that. But yeah, I think we might see a little bit of people protesting in the sense of not playing the game and watching those numbers decline. That's the only way you're going to get through to these people, man. They're so ignorant and narcissistic and full of themselves that they cannot possibly admit to themselves that they fucked up. And they'll just pin it on something else. They'll just, we're like in the one Wombat Medic dev brief, which I'm sure has to get certified by someone before it goes out. Not the dev brief, but the statement on the game where it said, "We're really glad that you guys are enjoying the new progression system." Progression system? You mean the one where it killed everyone's XP, and now people got to spend 2 years grinding to get to assault level 9? Like, you mean that progression system? Like, you mean the hit detection that like doesn't work half the time, that doesn't allow me to gain the XP I fucking deserve for being a better player? Yeah, real progression system there. I love how people are calling it Hell of Duty. Like like that's the thing. That's the terminology that needs to go around right now. This is Hell of Duty. For their stupid name, duty to devotion to duty. Who came up with that stupid shit? For one, you use the word duty. Like, why? Activision already owns nobody. The only way you would use the word duty is if by a glance you were trying to catch someone's eye who plays Call of Duty. You were trying to catch their eyes where they catch that word duty and they see devotion to duty, and then they see the game, and then they're like, oh, maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll spend some money. That's the only fucking reason you would use that damn word, dude, is you're trying to actually replace the veteran community with a brand new community. It's like, why? Because you think that they're going to spend money? They're going to spend 1 hour in your game and realize just how much better Warzone plays than this game, regardless of the cheating situation. I played yesterday probably just from habit and was annoyed by it. Yep. You've convinced me I'm going to take some time off and contribute time to rub their nose in it. Yeah, in an educated way, as much as you can. You know what I mean? Sometimes some people just, need to hear it blunt in order to understand it. But yeah, it's not the frustration that it brings you. Even when getting off of the game, let's say you play at night and the frustration is brought in you to just quit the game and exit out. Now that emotion is affecting at a minimum the next 15 minutes of your life. And it's not worth that is my whole point about it. And I hope there's a little bit of a revolt because clearly the messages on their Discord are not getting through to them clear enough, in my opinion, because they don't, there's nothing that forces them to read it. And like I said, I feel bad for the Wombat Medic. I said it the moment they announced she was going to be doing what she's doing. I said, I feel so bad for you. Cause me, I know myself. I know it, fuck, man, I wouldn't be able to look at half that shit people are saying on there without questioning, what am I doing here working for these people? But yeah, I don't think a break is a bad thing in the first place, right? Like, it's kind of like, like I've been an avid weed smoker for a long time. And there's been moments where I've like had an opportunity for a fantastic fucking job making a stupid amount of money. And yeah, I couldn't smoke weed, right? So yeah, I think it's good to take breaks from things that you are super passionate about. I wasn't just a user. I was also a grower for a long time. So that's why I live in the great state of Colorado. It's a passion. It's an art. Someone has to smoke your product. I like seeing the smile on their face. And I think Hella Loose can be approached, or any other thing like that in life. I can think Hella Loose, because we're on the topic, can be approached the same way. I don't think taking a break is bad. You'll be fine. You will enjoy some other games, and you might even find something that pulls you another direction. And that's how it was for me with DJing. Like, I used to know this girl, okay? I used to go to this dance club when I was like 16, right? It was a teen club. And like, I went back, let me just go change the video here. And I'll continue with the story. Oh, actually, here's what I'm going to do. I don't know if any of you have played BattleBit, but BattleBit's fucking awesome. So we're just going to watch a BattleBit video. But anyways, there's a club I used to frequent, right? And it was so awesome. It was like this little forbidden place that shouldn't even existed, but fucking did, right? And I used to have a friend there whose sister would go regularly, and every once in a while she wouldn't show up, and she was there regularly, right? So I always looked at that and was always like, dude, where's your fucking sister going, dude? You know, like, what is she doing? And he'd be like, I have no fucking clue, because they're close, but not like real close, right? He's like, I have no fucking idea. She's off with her boyfriend fucking somewhere. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, so then I finally got her to admit where she was going, and she was going to raves. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get her to tell me where the next one is, right? And she called me on like a Thursday, and she's like, tomorrow is a rave. It's outdoor. It's a weekend, so bring your camping stuff, right? And it's at a nudist campground in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin. And I'm like, all right, fuck, I'm going. I got off of work, told my buddy about it. He's like, yeah, dude, let's fucking go. I'm like, all right, we're doing it. After that, after that one weekend, man, it changed my life so fucking much that I ended up changing what I listened to. I didn't listen to rock. I never willfully turned on rock music again. It was all about electronic music. It hit me that hard that this could even exist. And I feel that's what will happen if you break away from the Hell Let Loose grind, from the Hell Let Loose addiction, which I'm addicted to it. I love the fucking game, right? But it's also been good that I broke away for a minute, because I found I found Squad, and I knew about the game, but I never played it, and then ended up making that video off of just my first experience, and worked really hard on that video. I thought it was interesting, and for someone who doesn't play the game, to make a piece of content like that out of my experience, I also think it's kind of cool, right? And but I never would have had that crazy experience if it wasn't for Hell Let Loose being such a piece of shit and moving on and branching out a little bit. And to be honest, there's an overall tone too. Like, I'm trying to bring more games to my channel. I know there's other YouTubers that have brought other games to their channel, and I'd like to do that too. I'm like you guys. I don't really have another deep passion for a game like that. It really is Hell Let Loose, and it sucks to have to take a break from something you love. Yeah, pass left. I would gladly, Let's see here. It needs to be an announcement or some kind of acknowledgement from the community manager and real Discord within the community. Yeah, no doubt, man. That's why I put a yes or no in the chat. What you think of this? Because I'll go through it based on our conversation we had today. But do you think that having because if they're not going, I will give them to the 22nd. This is just between us. So, hopefully word doesn't get out and one of these other YouTubers do it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to fucking call it out. But should I make a petition on petition.org to revert the game back to update 13 and have everybody sign it? Is that a thing? Is that a bad idea? Would you guys sign it? Do you think other people would sign it? I can't really post it in the Hell Let Loose Discord, right? But do you think we could spread the word on something like that if the 22nd doesn't bring legitimate change to the game? I'm willing to give them to the 22nd. And then if not, I'm willing to take the next step and start a petition. And there's 8,000 people that play this game on average. It only needs to get 51% of 8,000 for I think for them to really, really look at it. And if someone put out a poll on my game whether we should revert back updates and a lot of people signed it, I think I'd be pretty fucking embarrassed. Yeah, the new progression system makes it a waste of time. Murder Gary's take out tanks and drop supply 1,400 points. Cool, bro. Yep, exactly. Exactly. And we have looked, right? So, like, just to be fair, if you take a look in the barracks at your points and then you go play a match, and then at the end of the match, you see you only got 1,400 XP, look at how many points you actually got in the barracks, because you did get your full points. So it is kind of an illusion that it's not adding it up properly, because apparently it really is. But it's disheartening. It's another disheartening fact of the game. It's a good idea. I hope some other channels that make videos saying same things we are here would sign it. Yeah, I really hope so too. You know what? Maybe I'll just start it today. That way, maybe some people can look back. It'll already just be up for the update then, and I can always take it down, right? Nothing crazy. Just revert it to update 13 before everybody was pissed off at you. Pretty simple. And would give them the ultimate amount of time to fix the problems, right? With no stress, no time limit. There's a lot of benefits to them reverting the game. I would like to sign it. I think my friends would as well. Stuff like that does work. Do you know about Legend of Total War's petition with Creative Assembly? They eventually did it. Had like 100,000 signatures. No, I don't know about that, but I'm gonna fucking write that shit down. I've never even heard of that. What is the game? Wait, let's see here. So Total Wars. Sorry. Total Wars Creative Assembly. Yeah, there are many great Hell Let Loose content creators, and I wonder why Mono has been silent this last week. Well, look, I'm sure at some level there's with being a war correspondent, there's at some level there, you don't want to completely trash the game and trash people's experience, right? Because for all the people enjoying the game, more power to you. I'm fucking glad you're enjoying it, because goddamn, I wish I could be you right now, right? So there's some level of that. But then there's going to be some people like Pterodactyl who put out a video because he understands his community, right? He understands that his community is upset and that he's upset and how big of an embarrassment it is to have to even talk about this shit to his own community, who already understands the issues with the game. So more power to Pterodactyl for fucking speaking up, because that's what needs to fucking happen here. And if you're going to be a war correspondent, not everything's going to be hunky-dory. We've heard about the issues in the game. We all know about the issues in the game. But like I said earlier, now is the time to stand up. And there's going to be the people who they haven't come up with the right words in their head yet to say that is positive with constructive criticism at the same time, that doesn't offer any solution, right? Like, anybody can go online and you can bitch, right? You can bitch about any fucking game, or you can be like Big Fry and actually have constructive criticism with a solution. And I think the solution is the better way. Mono, to me, doesn't seem like a stupid individual. Seems like a really smart person. So I assume he's going to come up with a very educated way of discussing it with his community. That's also a tad bit harsh, right? Like just maybe it's the right amount of harsh. And once he comes up with it, he'll come out with a video. How can he stay silent on this? You know what I mean? Like, how? I don't think he can. I think he's as livid as anybody else is, and he's watching the destruction of something he loves, something he's become a war correspondent for, get destroyed in front of his eyes. Yeah, I mean, Terry's more objective for sure. There's a level of Terry that I actually like seeing, and it's the when he doesn't give a shit anymore. Like, because myself, I'm very outspoken. I don't give a shit what people think, you know, and I'll speak my mind because I ain't got nothing to lose. I mind what I say. I don't mind what I speak. Right. And so for me, when I get to see the real person coming out of their shell when they've pushed past their breaking point a bit, like, it's like, okay, I can relate to that because I was pissed, you know, the moment I saw 2 seconds into the damn video. Right. And, yeah, so it's good to see that for me and having, you know, my dedicated but smaller base. Like they know how I feel. They've been, a lot of these people in my channel have been with me a long, long time. So they know how I am. Not going to hold back. I'm going to try to give it to you straight and how I feel and what I think and maybe some possible outcomes, some options. I don't ever stream, so it's, you know, I don't really tend to shoot from the hip all that often. I contemplate and think because otherwise I'd just lose my fucking mind over it. But yeah, I'm excited to see Mono's video, you know. You know, Rasboro put out a video earlier that was just of the trailer, which we had already seen on other channels. But he wrote in the pinned comment, like, what do you guys think about the trailer? And my comment was, well, I came here to see what you thought about the trailer. You know, like, I want to know what you big dogs think, man. You know what I mean? Like, fucking tell me, bro. I'm not fucking soft. Tell me what you think. Let's hear you shit on this game, because there's no way you're gonna sell me and tell me that, oh, there's some good things in the pipeline coming up, guys, for Hell Let Loose. Just hold tight. Like, that day is over. Like, let's hear it. Let's hear how god awful you actually think the trailer was and how pathetic it was and how you could have paid. You wouldn't even have to pay people. There are people in this community that would have came out with something with real gameplay footage for free that would have been epic, dude. Like, when I put my trailer together, I just changed the title just so, you know, people can find it and see that how a devoted fan can make a trailer and how much time goes into it. And then just the sloppy bullshit that Hell Let Loose with multi-millions of dollars can put out. It should never be that way. But this is the level that companies think that we deserve. This is what they thought we wanted. Don't get me wrong. They knew it was shit, but they thought that's what we wanted, was a big shit sandwich. A hidden gem in the space. Wishing you all the success. You were of the first one found. I appreciate that, man. I really do. I really do. Believe me, I know my content got stale for a year because I took on an excavation job. I wanted to learn excavation, and I spent a year fucking busting my dick off, dude. Like, hard motherfucking work. I got so much respect for those the excavation guys that know how to fucking hold a shovel. I have so much fucking respect for those guys, dude. That is some hard work. And I was doing that 50 hours a week, man. So like I something had to get cut out of my videos, and it ended up being my voice. And I'm grateful for the people who stayed, even though even to me, I know it got stale for a minute. So, you know, it's life. It's a learning lesson. Life is about timing. So I appreciate the support. I do. I've always been super grateful. Even if I haven't said it enough, I've always been super grateful of my subs. Yeah, what's up, Jesse? Good to see you here. Yeah, man, I don't know. I know I was putting out content long before a lot of people were. I mean, shit, man, when I started playing the game, before I really made my decision to download it, I was watching Alpine Sniper, you know what I mean? Like, that shit was like, he just made the game seem fun, right? He made it feel like I was fucking missing out on something. You know, that was like the thing. And then it was like a year goes by, and he was like a level 80 or something when I started playing. And I'm like, COVID happened, and it was like pretty soon I'm level 200 and he's like 110. I'm like, what the fuck happened? you know, and then it just became a serious addiction through COVID, playing it 12 hours a fucking day, learning all these little intricacies, all these tiny little fucking details about the game, dude. I just thrived on it. And I tried to bring those little things to my channel, the little nuance, because I don't want to teach someone how to play. I'd rather have them develop their own way of playing it, because then maybe they can teach me something like the tanks we were talking about earlier. But I don't know. I guess the moral of that story is I'm just thankful you guys are here with me. I'm thankful, super thankful for my sub base. I'm sure you've seen in the last like 2 months, I've been really trying to put out better quality videos. Something that holds the retention a little longer. Maybe it gets pushed out into the algorithm a little further. You guys know how that shit is. I don't like to talk about it. I don't like to remind you that 98% of my base isn't subscribed. I think that's fucking pompous. But because that's most channels nowadays. But I do try my best to put out engaging content, stuff that I think is interesting. Maybe sometimes it's more interesting to me than it is everyone else. But I over the last 2 months, for sure, I have been heavily focused on trying to make content that is more engaging to the viewer and much less of myself. So I got to continue to try to go down that path. And, you know, it just seems to be the way YouTube is flowing these days. Let's go riding in the mountains, dude. Yeah, like what, on skis? Or do you want to go like, trail riding? Like 4x4 trucks? Yeah, dude, that shit's so fun, man. You can't have a bad time driving 4x4 trucks through mud or trail riding. Like, you just can't. It's like that old joke. Like, I think it was a Daniel Tosh joke. He's like, you ever seen someone frowning on a jet ski? No, never. It's never happened, you know? Here for that long range ding. Yeah, dude. It's the most, okay, so I don't even know if I should tell you, but maybe you, okay, here. I won't tell you, but like you can give me some ideas here, and I'm literally going to write these down. Cuz I am planning something for the future. A video that's kind of on topic of what we're doing, but anyways. Lots of FPS shooters have the headshot sound, right? Like the little headshot ding. Yeah, that Bronco's amazing, dude. I've always loved Broncos. But yeah, what other games that you guys have played? Because I'm sure you guys have more experience in gaming than me. I kind of missed 20 years with DJing. But what games have good headshot sounds, or like a noticeable headshot sound, or whatever it may be? Oh, I'm the first hella loose person you found. That's awesome. That makes me feel awesome, dude. I don't suppose you remember what it was that you searched, or if the algorithm threw it to you, or do you remember? Do you remember any bit of that? I'm just curious. Never frowned in your Bronco? Fuck no, dude. Everybody thinks they're a little bit of OJ Simpson when they're driving a Bronco, right? I got into gaming after 15 years of playing in metal bands. Oh, okay. All right, so you've very similar experience. Cool. Rust. Rust has got headshot sounds. Okay. I wouldn't have expected that. I wouldn't have expected that it would have been like a very prevalent sound in a game like Rust. I've never played Rust, but from what I've seen, it seems like it's more centered around the whole crafting kind of DayZ survival kind of thing. Does DayZ have a headshot sound? Counter-Strike? For Counter-Strike, it doesn't matter which version. Like I know, what is it? 1.6. Is that the one people loved? Was that the beginning? I don't know what changed beyond that, to be honest. Revert back to update 13 and fix the bugs on 14 and release after a proper bug fix. Wiser words have never been spoken. It's amazing. It's almost like if you were the CEO of that company, you would have a clear vision on moving forward. It's weird, dude. Like, it's kind of weird that you'd have that clear of a vision broken up into 2 sentences. It's fucking funny. Sniper Elite. Oh yeah, that game's cool as fuck, dude. I've never played it. But God, the videos are so awesome. Yeah, I mean, before I got into this game, the only game, like I even before I played Battlefield 5, the only game I really was into was Splinter Cell Blacklist, man. And that game is so fucking good. Don't want new content until it's complete. Yeah, me neither. We've been saying that for a long time, though, that all of us would have preferred a real true bug and performance fix. And even during the year long with no update from Black Matter, we all kind of was hoping that in that period of time that there would have been some significant progress made towards the bugs. I'm not in the studio, right? So I don't really know how much time was actually spent on it, but it does, like, they spent some time on it when they told us that the loadout bug was fixed. You can look it up in the dev brief. It actually, in the changelog, it says fixed next to loadout bug. And after that, it's worse than it's ever been. It's so bad that even people have, like, for a minute have found like a workaround. You used to be able to just type a sentence in the chat, and then it had to be in the team chat, I believe, and then it would give you back your loadout. And since then, that doesn't work. But it's just so funny that people have found that out. And just so you guys know, if you're playing Hell Let Loose and the game crashes at the end and does give you your points, it's potentially because you opened your map as the game ended. So that seems to be kind of the workaround around that. Can I post a link? I'm not sure YouTube allows links. I didn't turn links off. I just don't know if YouTube allows it, but YouTube wants you to stay on their platform, right? So I think you can post a YouTube link. I don't think any other links work. Yeah, the dink sound in Hell Let Loose it's so good. It's so special. And I've had the most headshots I've had in a row was 6 in like a rapid succession. And each one sounds just a little different. So it's cool that it's not the same sound on every one. There's like a multitude of different sounds. So I love that, because you hear like the heavy bucket kick, the dink, and then you hear the dink. It's nice, dude. Jesse, pertaining to headshots. Because I know this is that's kind of like the cream of the crop, right? Like Hell Let Loose, the headshot sound kind of became less valuable when they started giving the headshot sound for everything in Update 9. So they started giving it for artillery, grenades. Maybe it was Update 10 actually. AT, like you can hit anybody with anything now and get a headshot sound. So they kind of, like, in my opinion, made it a little less special. Like I would have liked them to, keep it with just guns, Yeah, I mean, Hell Let Loose as a whole is rewarding, right? Like we've all had those matches where 10 minutes into the match, you are stuck on your headquarters and you are there for the next hour. And someone finally was able to break through the line with a flank and push back to the middle with just, I mean, a minute or two to spare before the match ends. And it's a devastating loss for the enemy team. And it is just the ultimate epic fucking win for your team, you know? I love that part so much. Okay, so when you start a stream on YouTube, there's 3 options for server latency. There's normal, there's low latency, and then there's real time. So low latency is like normal is what it's on now, normal mode. And that gives you the best video quality. So, I definitely wanted to, it's good to have good quality, right? The low latency is for like if you're interacting quick, which is probably what I should have done here. I'll remember that for next time. The real time setting is for like game show interaction, right? Like that quick, like it's almost in real time. There's still a delay of like 7 seconds or something, but yeah, I'll remember that for next time. Thanks for letting me know, because I had no idea what kind of delay there was. And I think the chat is on slow mode with a minute delay from posting. I think that's what that's at. I just realized you were on 13-minute delay. Are you serious? I mean, I don't doubt that like there's a delay for people that, are further away like yourself, but fuck, if it's on 13 minutes, that's crazy. I'll be super conscious of that next time. And but I did do testing with Battlefield on the real-time delay, and the quality is less for sure, like very grainy. So maybe I'll try low latency next time. I had to take the kids. It was my fault. I had to take. Oh, yeah, no worries, dude. I understand that. Being a veteran now and knowing the game, it's still great, but the progression and learning curve at the start is the best. Yeah, I don't know if you're here earlier when I mentioned it, but yeah, I don't know if I like the game, if I enjoyed the game more being great at the game, or if I enjoyed the game more when I didn't know a lot about it. I've often wondered that. And, man, it was just exciting. It was an exciting experience, man. This whole fucking YouTube journey has been an exciting experience. I never really the issue with DJing and putting out shit on YouTube is the copyrights, right? So that already fucking sucks. So I wasn't going to try to put out a lot of content with that. And it was like I found myself playing this game and really, really liking it. And, started putting out content of just my experiences and kind of reaching out, trying to see if other people are having these same experiences. And it went from having a server for a long time to where we just didn't use it for like 3 or 4 months. And then, I just shut her down and, and had the Discord because I was kind of tired of, honestly, like, no offense to the noobs, but like, I was kind of tired of playing with the new people. I wanted to play with, I didn't want to play competitive. I'm not a competitive player. I don't want to play in that environment. And I like the chaos of the public matches. And so, but I just wanted to play with knowledgeable people. And that was kind of an endeavor that was a lot of fun. I've had a lot of guys in the Discord want to bring it back and do stuff like that. And, cause it's all in good fun, right? There's no leaderboard, we're all winners and losers, so it was fair. And we kind of had our own rule system to it too. So that's what I think made it really special. Because the rules over time were built by my Discord, and so it was really level playing field. But yeah, let's see here. Okay, not on your side. All right, man. We'll see you later, Brewer. Appreciate you coming by. Have a great day. Like paused it. Okay, yeah, I read that. It started playing again when I got back. Oh, I see. Yeah, that. I miss my New World amazement with Hell Let Loose when I started playing it. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, everything was so fresh and fucking exciting. I don't know. I don't think you were here earlier, but I played a match from Update 8 that I went 28-2. 14 KD, you know what I mean? Watching that video, it was one of the most exciting matches at the time. It wasn't even that crazy active. I literally just stayed and defended with a couple people. That's it. And it was just like, at that point, I was like really focusing on learning to stay alive. And it was just a lot of fun back then, man. It was, you know, and that might be the downfall. Maybe we're taking the game seriously, but I think it's also like you know, it's probably a little factor in there, right? But I think a lot of us are just, we want our little communities to stay how they are. We enjoy the company of the people we game with. And you know, I've said it before, but that's something I think I missed throughout my DJ era. Was while I was out having fun and meeting people and stuff, I you know, used to tease my friends for getting addicted to World of Warcraft and spending all their time online and like how that's not real life and shit. And they'd try to tell me like, oh, but it's got an economy in it. It's like you're sitting here telling me the game you're playing 40 hours a week has an economy while you don't have a job. Like there's just something backwards about that. But what I missed was the networking aspect of things. And yeah, you know, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Still in the honeymoon phase with Hell Let Loose, but it's looking like a divorce, unfortunately. And none of us signed a fucking prenup. You know what I mean? It's it's yeah, and I know you took like 6 months off almost or whatever it was for work, and like to come back to what it is now is just devastating. Yeah, looking at the new direction and cringing. We all are. We all are. You know, just to go back to Pterodactyl for a minute as an example, you know, he's always like brought in some like new games to his channel, or some, you know, put some videos out on some games he was interested in, and, you know, some backstory on the game or whatever it might be. And, you know, I think actively searching for, I'm using the wrong terminology, but like a potential way out, right? And maybe he saw the writing on the wall long before any of us did, but, you know, bringing in games that kind of like I know he did a video on, was it Crows or Marauders? And it's like, okay, yeah, it was a game he's really hyped for. It was, and one of those two games is already dead, like, or even stopped production or something like that. And it's like, man, dude, you try to bring something to your channel that you hope is going to resonate with your community, and maybe they'll find the same level of excitement as you have, and then it just dies right away, is dead. And maybe that's just what we have to accept now. Maybe that's just what we have to accept for Hell Let Loose, and maybe our communities need to actively get together and find another game that we can all enjoy, knowing that it's not going to be Hell Let Loose. I've always wanted to find a Plan B game. It's been hard. Played a few games, none really that got me interested like crazy. I mean, I put some time into Battlefield recently, because I personally think it's a great game now. Now since their last update, and now they just had an update last week with a new map, and they changed the way the guns play, so you can't just wipe people at 200 meters anymore. But I legitimately think Battlefield 2042, if you can get it on sale, I know it's fast. I know some of you aren't into those flick shots and shit, but I don't think it's a bad investment in a game if you can get it for like $15 on G2G or whatever you're getting. Yeah. Now I tend to get annoyed with bad and new players because I know how to win, and when people don't do the thing we need them to is frustrating. At the start, you didn't know, so less frustrating with team. Yeah, and that's a very fine line too, in the sense of the amount of times I've seen someone standing on supplies that could build a game-winning garrison is unfucking believable. I've even walked my ass from HQ to team kill that person standing on supplies because I'm yelling at him in proximity to build a fucking garrison, and they must have everything off. And then I just team kill them. And then now they can respawn at the same goddamn shit position we're all respawning in. And when they look at the map, they'll know where they're at and realize they were standing on supplies the whole fucking time but didn't want to listen. I don't feel bad for it. There's a time as a commander where I fucking bombing run my whole goddamn team who was overextending into enemy. I already removed 2 garrisons in enemy territory because all we had to do was hold the middle for like 6 fucking minutes. And the whole team, I removed the 2 enemy red zone Garys. We had 3 in the backfield, I believe. And the entire team started leaving the point and pushing forward. The entire team. So I fucking bombing rummed them. And now guess what? Now they had to fucking spawn back behind the point and push up to the point where the enemy is now pushing in. And now guess what? We won the game. Sorry. You two were all too stupid. I had to bombing run you so that you'd realize how dumb you are. And because I want to win, you know? It's stupid, but it's true. I spent years searching for a game I'd spend more than 200 hours on. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, I downloaded Battlefield 5 recently, right? Because that's what I played before. Playing Hell Let Loose in the game is just polluted with teams of cheaters, not even just individual guys, just teams of cheaters. And I thought I had like put a good amount of time. I did. I got to like level 104 or something like that with 304 hours or something like that in it. And it's like I never thought I would find a game where I would spend 3,200 hours into it and then making content on it and building a community on it. And yeah, it's interesting stuff. I went into engineering games like Satisfactory, Space Engineers, Empiron, Galactic Survival, and Factorio. Yeah, I mean, for me, even just playing Battlefield, before I played Battlefield 5, I had never played a first-person shooter. Like, okay, you could count Doom from 1993, right? Like, I'm not counting that, but you could count that. But as far as a first-person massive multiplayer online game, I never had played anything like that till Battlefield 5. I had watched people play games like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 2, whatever. But for me, what was interesting is the hardest thing for me to learn in Hell Let Loose, because I didn't even learn this in Battlefield 5. I was just running around trying to get kills. I wasn't, blowing shit up. I wasn't focusing on positioning and movement. But in Hell Let Loose, one of the hardest things for me to overcome was peeking above something just enough so my reticle is above like a sandbag or something. Like that was always really hard, and keeping the screen level is hard too. But Now you try to shoot around a sandbag and the bullets stop in front of you, and you got to lean half your body out there and get killed. Yeah, Bad Company 2. I think there's still actually people playing Bad Company 2 or something. I just saw something on that recently. It was Battlefield Bad Company 2 in 2023 or something like that. I think you mentioned 6 Days in Fallujah. Yeah, that's again, like while I really think our Discord would enjoy that game, it's still a 4-player co-op. But I think all of us will be buying it and playing it for sure. Like I really think a lot of us are looking for that next dopamine hit, and I think they're going to find it in that game. And games have been shifting over the last like 5 years too. So many developers, in order to combat the cheating system, or the cheaters out there, have collectively moved away from multiplayer online games, especially in these old engines. So I know that there was kind of a big push like 3 years ago for more couch co-op games. So like games you can play with your friends, like in your own living room together, not necessarily online. So yeah, I honestly think to curb the cheating situation, there probably will be more of a push towards games like that. I spent 1,500 hours on World of Tanks until it turned into a money grab. Oh boy, that's some real scandalous shit right there, right? I've been hearing a lot about that lately. So did they do something lately? Then I found Hell Let Loose. Before then, it was COD 4 for 900 hours. This is my second longest game. I don't have the time or money. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. With free games out there, though, you're kind of expected to have some pay-to-win type system, right? That shit should be illegal, but... Hell Let Loose got the sniper and spotter system down pat to me. All the battlefields, you don't need spotter, and they give away your position with scope glint that doesn't exist for actual snipers. Yeah, I mean, I still wish they would add glint in Hell Let Loose, though, to be honest with you. Like not in like a cheesy way like Battlefield. Like 2042, when I shine a scope at someone, it's like a flashlight laser being directed right at your eyes. Like that's kind of weak. But I know for a sniper, it was a big deal to make sure you didn't have the sun shining in it because you didn't want to see that reflection. So yeah, we don't need a flashlight shining, but there should be something, right? If you're going to have flares in the sky, for one, that are stupid colors, faction depending colors, which is dumb. If you're going to have flares in the skies that spot people, then add sniper glint. You'll be on after you finish your jobs? Yeah, maybe a twinkle. All right, Ripa. Yeah, a twinkle's fine. Just a little pixel just shimmering, right? Just a little shimmer. That's all. All right, guys. Jesse, I'll talk to you in the Discord. But if Ripa's hopping off, I don't know. If I look at YouTube, if I look at the stream while it's streaming, it really cuts down on performance for some reason. So even though I'm using a dual PC setup, but yeah, I don't know if it's just you guys watching. If you could let me know how many people are on, but how they would complain. Not a glowing icon that says over here that you, yeah, no shit, yeah. No, I agree with that for sure. Yeah, I mean, people might complain. They're going to complain. There's always going to be people that complain about little shit. That's why we joke about wire cutters so much. There's people complaining that the game needs fucking wire cutters. Like, shut up. That is the dumbest shit. That is the dumbest idea that you haven't thought 2 seconds past that idea to even understand how bad of an idea that is. It'd be banned with the shoes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I got like I don't know what happened recently. Comcast used to give me 40 megabit upload speeds, but now they're pumping out 130 to me. So I appreciate that, but so I should have enough bandwidth for upload. I think I'm streaming, yeah, like 18,000 kilobits a second right now. So it should be decent looking quality at least. I tried doing it at 24,000 kilobits a second, but it was when I did tests with that, I was losing frames. Not even due to render lag. So it must have been something with the internet. But even right now, I only had any bit of render lag when I first clicked to start the stream, and I had 4 frames dropped the minute I hit the start streaming. Other than that, I haven't had any frames dropped out of nearly 1 million frames. So that's pretty solid. Hey, give me a flare at 500 meters to tell me that there's a sniper over there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no shit. I think the flare is dumb. Like, I really do. I think when they added the sound to the garrisons, like to make them easier to find, but then they made OPs smaller, but added the sound to them, like, really fucking dumb. You know, it didn't help anybody either. The amount of times I've seen an enemy garrison on the other side of a wall from a friendly garrison is absurd, dude. I'm sure I'm in Discord now, but just hanging out, gonna eat supper. When you're done, we can play some cool. Sounds good to me. Yeah, radar flares. That's some Battlefield shit right there. For sure. It's gonna be no issues. Yeah, but your upload takes more bandwidth than download. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm confusing you there. With the bandwidth situation. Yeah, I mean, speed is one thing, right? And then bandwidth is going to be something different. I don't know what. Yeah, maybe that was the issue with uploading at 24,000 kilobits. I know YouTube will accept up to 50,000 kilobits a second. But I'm also streaming at a higher audio quality than YouTube likes to have. But I'll see you on Discord. All right. Thanks, Ripa. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, Jesse. Thanks for sticking with me, Seb. I appreciate it. I hope I'm saying that right. What's the CZ for? Cubic Zirconium? But yeah, I appreciate you guys a lot. Thanks for your support. It means a lot to me. It really does. So don't think it doesn't go unnoticed. It definitely, I'm noticing it. So thanks a lot, guys. Take care. I'm going to end the stream here. I hope to see you in game. If you're not in the Discord, feel free to join us. We all hang out regardless if we're playing different games. So feel free to stop by. No pressure.